Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to Sister Wives with Mary Jane K. Today, I'll be giving my commentary on Sister Wives, Season 17, Episode 10, The Knife in the Kidneys, Stab, Stab, Shank, Shank. Now, I had wondered about why the kidneys, why not the heart? And if you're of mine, Diana had mentioned that the kidneys have significance in the Old Testament. The kidneys in the Old Testament are associated with the innermost stirrings of the emotional life. They are also viewed as the seat of the secret thoughts of the human, and they are used as an omen and a metaphor, particularly as a metaphor for moral discernment, for reflection and inspiration. So that might be why Cody so dramatically mentioned a knife to the kidneys and not the heart. Although, let's also remember that Cody admitted he wasn't in love with Christine when they first married, and he didn't love her after. She was the one head over heels in love with him. She always wanted Cody despite having so many options. Even after he refused to court Christine, even after Mary rejected the notion of Christine joining the family, and Cody made excuse after excuse as to why he didn't want to court Christine. He said he didn't want Mary to feel abandoned by her two best friends in the world in the book. Mary didn't want Christine at first, even though they were friends. And Cody wasn't crazy about Christine. He wasn't attracted to her, although she is way out of his league. Then Cody courted Janelle. He married her, and that was right after he chose to court a minor. He had to wait for this 17-year-old girl to turn 18 before he was able to get engaged to her. Imagine that. And to add insult to injury, that young lady, that minor, was Christine's friend. It was her acquaintance who she recruited into the church. Cody courted that minor, and then when she turned 18, they got engaged, and that young lady, thankfully, luckily for her, ended things a week before the wedding. So Christine endured Cody courting her friend, a minor, and marrying Janelle before he decided it was okay to court her. And Christine endured that emotional roller coaster of being in love with a man who just wasn't that into her, despite her being way, way, way out of Cody's league. So Cody talking about all he sacrificed to love Christine is bullshit. He never loved her, in my opinion. He married Christine because of her status in the church, and his ego probably loved how much attention and adulation and adoration he got from Christine, who was young and naive. And he saw Christine as a way to make his life much more convenient and as a way to buffer the hellish nightmare of an explosive relationship going on at home between Mary and Janelle. Cody was triangulated into their mess. He didn't want to be involved. He only likes convenience. He didn't want to be inconvenienced by their fighting. And Christine took that burden right off of his shoulders. Cody knew he didn't love Christine when he married her, but he married her anyway. He had kids with her, 6 kids. She sacrificed all of her wants and needs, her identity, what she deserved from a husband and a marriage, what she deserved from the father of her kids, for 27 years. She took less than she deserved. She sacrificed what she deserved to be in the family, to put the family first, and to raise the kids. For 27 years, this woman put aside herself to her own detriment, to sacrifice, to put the family first, to raise the kids for the greater good. And she loved Cody. She loved the person she thought he was. And she gave and gave and gave, and she sacrificed, and she became the heart of the Brown family, the nurturer. And her actions, her sacrifices, show the love she has for this family, the love she had for Cody. Cody is all talk. He's all words. He's all selfish arrogance and emotions. He's a ball of resentment and bitterness. He never loved Christine. He talks of sacrifice, all he sacrificed to love her, as if she is hard to love, as if she is such an imposition, a burden. But Cody has been the burden all along, the burden on his wives, the burden on his kids. Everyone bends backwards to sacrifice for him, to make this work. All the wives bent to put the kids first for years, to give them a home, to give them a loving, stable, peaceful environment. Everyone sacrificed for that, for them, for the kids. Everyone sees the blessing in that sacrifice, in the suffering all of the wives endured to give those kids the best upbringing and the good memories and the unconditional love, everything they needed to blossom in this world. What did Cody sacrifice? Everyone sacrifices to tolerate him, to try and love him, to try and understand him, to try and compromise for him. Everyone turns the other cheek on repeat for him. What does he sacrifice for them? What does he give them? He only complains about how hard it is for him. It's all about his emotions, his anger. It's all about him. Cody, Cody, Cody. When is it ever about them? The family he refers to as the obstacles to his goals in life. It's not a sacrifice that he is supposed to juggle all of his wives and kids and make time for everyone and do things fairly and equally as a husband and a father. It comes with the territory of what he signed up for. It's his given responsibility that he signed up for. It's not a sacrifice. It's what Cody signed up for, to be there for everyone, to be present in everyone's lives. He is responsible to be there. He is making the choice to ignore his responsibility. It's not a sacrifice for him to have to deal with his wives and kids and to deal with their emotions or their unhappiness with him or the emotions they suffer because of his bad behavior or the lifestyle. It comes with what he signed up for. It's not a sacrifice for him to deal with this. He is responsible to deal with it, whether it is convenient or not for him. It's not a sacrifice. It comes with the role of being a father and a husband in a system like this. What Cody refers to or calls his sacrifice is just him barely doing the bare minimum of his end of the deal that they all signed up for. It's not a sacrifice. It is his job. It is his responsibility. It is the consequence of the choice he made to live in a plural family, to marry 4 women, and father all of these kids. It is what Cody signed up for. He made the choice. He has to own it. Owning his choice isn't a sacrifice. Doing what he should and doing the right thing and fulfilling his responsibility as a husband and a father isn't a sacrifice. It's not an extra. It should be a given. Cody talks about the sacrifices he made to love Christine. What sacrifices? It's not a sacrifice to listen to and to try and understand your wife's suffering and emotions. It's a responsibility that comes with the choice to marry this woman. It's not a sacrifice to do a given responsibility. That is a consequence of plural marriage or what he signed up for. Cody is labeling his responsibility as a husband and what he should be doing as a given in his marriage, a sacrifice, something above and beyond that he's doing. A sacrifice is giving beyond, giving yourself for others, going above and beyond. What Cody is referring to as a sacrifice, it's a responsibility. It's a duty he signed up for. It's not a sacrifice for him to fulfill his obligations. It's not a sacrifice to do what he should be doing. Christine sacrificed when she raised all the kids, when she was cook and chauffeur and a housekeeper and a tutor and mother and babysitter to all of the kids for years. Christine had wants and needs that went perpetually unfulfilled. She knew she wasn't getting what she deserved. She knew she was unhappy. She was suffering inside emotionally. She shoved her wants and needs down. She set herself aside. She sacrificed. She endured not getting what she deserved as a wife in her marriage for the family, for the kids. She sacrificed. She sacrificed feeling loved and fulfilled in her marriage. She sacrificed feeling like she mattered to her husband. Things any wife deserves in a marriage. She sacrificed all of that to raise the kids for the family. What did Cody sacrifice? He talks about all of this sacrifice. And so far, I haven't seen one action I would deem a sacrifice where there was zero in it for him and it was all about his family and not himself. He talks about sacrifices. What sacrifices? What have we seen Cody do that we would label a sacrifice or deem a sacrifice? I've seen Janelle sacrifice. She sacrificed her paycheck for the family. She sacrificed her money from the Vegas house for Robin and her mansion. Christine, we know what she sacrificed. We know everything she sacrificed. We have seen Mary sacrifice her legal marriage. She sacrificed to work for My Sister Wives Closet for Robin. What has Cody sacrificed? What did Cody do for this family? He talks about sacrifice, but what sacrifice has he actually made for his family? They sacrifice for him. Does he sacrifice for them? Cody is always shouting from the hilltops about his sacrifice. But the women who have sacrificed to get Cody where he is now in life, who sacrificed for this family, for the kids, who sacrificed move after move, they all sacrifice a lot, the wives and the kids, and they never mention it. Their actions prove their sacrifice. We never hear them even mention the word sacrifice, not once, yet we see them sacrifice constantly with their actions. Cody is endlessly yelling about his sacrifices the loudest. But it's interesting, we haven't yet seen one. Where is Truly's bedroom at the Goblin's Lair? Where was he during Isabel's surgery or her move to North Carolina for college? Even Hunter, Cody and Janelle's son, sacrificed to be there for Isabel both times. He cared enough to be there. It seems to me everyone in the family is willing to sacrifice but Cody. And those sacrifices he yells about, like his COVID protocols, in my opinion, those things he calls sacrifices are just hoops for everyone to jump through to get crumbs from him as he phones it in because he wants to make it difficult to see him, because he doesn't want to be there. All of Cody's words are about sacrifice, yet his actions indicate he is unwilling to sacrifice. He won't be inconvenienced. He just can't make the effort, not unless there is something in it for him, something to feed that obese ego he carries around. Cody is a man who does what he wants all of the time. If he wants to be someplace, he will. COVID, flood, tornado, sharknado, tsunami, Armageddon, doesn't matter, he will be there. He made it to officiate Brian's wedding during COVID, and he made up some lie about lower COVID cases in the U.S., blah, blah, blah. Why were his COVID protocols a problem for attending Isabel's surgery or her move to North Carolina, but suddenly, somehow, it wasn't a problem to officiate the wedding of his friend Brian? Because Cody's COVID protocols are just hoops to jump through for his kids and wives, because Cody doesn't want to be there and he wants to try and justify it to himself and to viewers. He wants to blame his family, everyone else, them, for his choice to be absent. He is too much of a coward to say he no longer wants to do a fair and equal plural family. He is too much of a coward to say he wants monogamy with Robin and to be unburdened by his obligation. He doesn't want to own the consequence of what he signed up for. He doesn't want to own his choices. Instead, he creates shifting goalposts for everyone around him to jump through to see him. And he blames them for why he just can't be there, when it's his choice in his hands. Cody chooses not to be there. Cody chooses to be absent. And that choice isn't contingent or dependent on anyone else or their choices and decisions. They are not to blame for Cody being absent. Cody is to blame for his absence. It is his responsibility to make the choice to be there, and he chooses to be absent. Anyone else's choices have nothing to do with Cody's choice to not be there. Nobody else's choices have anything to do with his ability to be present. Cody just wants to deflect, and he loves to lie too. Look at how he disgraced and disrespected his ex-wife by trying to scare her with a custody agreement and mentioning lawyers to try and leverage things to his advantage. He used his child, Truly, as a bargaining chip, and he lied to Christine. He made up fake laws anyone could call bullshit on from a mile away, and he said the state would have ownership or custody of Truly if she and Cody don't arrange a custody agreement. Christine knew it was bullshit, obviously, and Cody admitted it later that he was just talking out of his ass as usual. Cody isn't a person who sacrifices. He's a guy who twists and manipulates and conspires and contrives like a con artist, a used car salesman, and he thinks he's really winning and he's really slick. But just keep in mind, those who speak the loudest, those who shout the loudest about their sacrifice, those who want it heard, they want it known, they want it noted, see if their actions match up with their words. The ones who don't mention their sacrifice are normally the ones who sacrifice the most. And they don't need it known. They don't need it seen. They don't need it noticed. They aren't doing it for show. They aren't doing it to spin the narrative. They don't need recognition because it comes from their hearts. It's authentic. Sacrifice came from Christine's heart. Sacrifice came from Janelle's heart. Sacrifice came from Mary's heart. Sacrifice came from all the kids' hearts. They never even mentioned the word sacrifice. To them, it's not sacrifice, it's love. Pure, unconditional, authentic love. So be wary of those who speak and yell about their sacrifice, and notice those who show their sacrifice in silence, not through their words, but through their actions. Let's get into this episode. Sister Wives, Season 17, Episode 10, The Knife in the Kidneys. It's a continuation of the bullying from last week. Cody explains that Christine has the 5 of them gathered and her house is under contract being sold, and she has just told him that she is moving in a week. It's a difficult conversation. Christine says a year ago when she looked at she and Cody's relationship, it felt like she couldn't stay and she hadn't quite decided to move and to leave. And she looked at how their relationship was and she thought it wasn't a relationship that she would wish on any of her friends. Cody tells Christine that she said she didn't want to be married to him anymore when they were talking about moving to Utah. And Christine says her interpretation of that conversation was at the end of that conversation, she thought Cody was on the team of them maybe being able to move to Utah. They show a flashback of that scene of Cody throwing Christine under the bus when she pitches a possible move to Utah to the group. Christine mentions to the group how polygamy got decriminalized in Utah, and she wonders why they are still here in Flagstaff when they can move back home to Utah. She wants to move back. And Cody tells Christine he is at a place where he feels like his kids love it here in Flagstaff. And this is the most likely place for any of their adult kids to move back to. In confessional, in the flashback, Christine says she is surprised because she thought Cody was more in favor of this, but he is acting like they have never even talked about this or as though he was not in favor of this the last time they talked. Next, they flash back to the scene of Christine telling Mary she can't do marriage with Cody anymore. She doesn't want to do it anymore. During the look at the mountains scene we all recognize, Robin asks Cody if he was open to moving. And Cody says he didn't want to move. He liked the idea of living in Utah, but he didn't like the idea of moving. Christine says to her he was open to Utah at the end of that conversation. Janelle makes the point that it was bigger than just that. This wasn't just about the move to Utah. Janelle can see that Cody and Robin are trying to make it look like Christine is being impulsive, like she is just divorcing Cody selfishly because she wants to move to Utah. When Cody and Christine had the divorce discussion in episode 1, remember how Cody tried to make it seem like Christine was being totally irrational, like she was being impulsive and leaving just because of COVID? It's about so much more than just Utah or COVID. It's about Christine trying for 27 years, knowing she will never have a loving, fulfilling marriage like she wants. She will never get all of her wants and needs met by Cody. She will never be an equal to him or the other wives. She will never matter as much as Robin. She will never get what she deserves in this marriage. She and Cody also want different things from the marriage. Cody is content to have a loveless, sexless marriage. And Christine wants more. She needs more. She deserves more. And to tolerate less than she deserves is painful. It hurts. It's suffering. Cody doesn't love Christine. To him, he is perfectly fine to have a marriage with zero connection. He doesn't care how Christine feels. If Christine is happy or not, he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about her well-being. It doesn't matter to Cody. And I don't know if it truly ever did. And also, Christine saw her kids were not getting their wants and needs met by Cody as their father either. They mattered less than Robin's kids to Cody, and Cody neglected the kids. They were heartbroken, and they saw the disparity in how Cody treats Robin's kids and how he treats them, and it hurt them. It made them suffer. So how could Christine stay once it was hurting her kids? This is not an impulsive choice. It's not an irrational decision. It's not about moving to Utah or how Cody handled COVID. This is about Cody not being capable and not being willing to give his ex-wife and kids what they needed and what they deserved from him. And Cody and Robin want to reduce it to things like just being about COVID or being about moving to Utah, to deflect from Cody taking accountability and to deflect from Robin admitting a big part of this is that she matters more to Cody and that her kids matter more to Cody than anyone else in the family, that they are favored, that they are given preferential treatment to the neglect and detriment of everyone else, of every other wife and child Cody has in the family. So I'm glad Janelle mentioned that this isn't just about Utah, because she has Robin's number and she knows how Cody operates and she knows which way the wind blows. I wish Janelle and Christine were more vocal during this conversation, but I doubt they are used to being confrontational and argumentative, and they probably know if they let Cody and Robin talk, all that diarrhea they spew will speak for itself. They don't even need to say a word. Christine says she wondered, am I really just on my own already? She says that's what it felt like before. She says she felt Cody was giddy when they discussed moving to Utah privately. Christine says she remembers it differently, but it's fine. Cody stops Christine to completely deflect. He ignores that she mentions he was excited about Utah in speaking with Christine. And instead he says, no, this is what he remembers. He says Christine said she was interested in the family, not the man. That has been Christine's mantra, but it became about the man and not about the family. And that is his angry place. That's the reason he has struggled with this, because they invested and invested and invested, because it wasn't about the family, it was about the man. Cody says this was his frustration, and it is also his accusation. He is angry that Christine wasn't willing to invest in the family, but she was only interested in what he could do for her, him as a resource for her. And it breaks his heart because now they're at this place where it's just over and it's done. Christine was always about the family. In fact, not only does she mention it in the book and on the show on repeat and show it in her actions, but there is a clip where Cody admits he married Christine because she is polygamy royalty. And Christine says when she married Cody, it was her decision to enter into the family. The family was integral to her decision to live plural marriage and to marry Cody. She didn't just want Cody. She says if you only have a good relationship with the man, she thinks it would be very difficult to have a plural family if you are not going to be interested in having a relationship with your sister wives. Christine says she was very good friends with Mary. Mary was as much fun as Cody. They had lots of conversations. They talked a lot. She and the sister wives. It wasn't just about Cody. It wasn't just Cody that Christine was interested in when she decided to marry him. Remember how I mentioned how Cody continually shifts the goalposts? He shifts his expectations. He contradicts himself. In this clip, Cody is very annoyed by this. Christine suggested she was interested in the family when she married Cody, and she didn't just marry Cody. It wasn't just about him, but about having the whole family. He wants Christine to say he was the selling point. Cody even asks if the sister wives weren't there, if Christine would still have married him if it was just single Cody. And Christine says she wanted the family, she wanted the sister wives, she wanted the plural family experience. Cody tells Christine she made the decision to marry him, though, based upon marrying a man, not on marrying a family. And Cody asks Christine how it works. And Christine says there were other guys that were married that she got to know better, and she loved the women, but she felt nothing towards the man. And she acknowledges then that there should be chemistry with the man. And Cody says the thing is that Christine was becoming part of a family. That's a family with her sister wives, but she is marrying the man. Cody says the relationship ultimately is with the man, your husband, and by extension, it's with the rest of the family. Christine says in this clip that she doesn't think he understands that she never really wanted a single man. And Cody says the thing is, if Christine would have fallen in love with him and he wasn't married, they still would have gotten married. And then Christine says, okay. And Cody wants Christine to basically say she married him because he was the draw and for no other reason. And he is a priority before the sister wives. And he should be her priority, not her sister wives, not the family. The family and the sister wives are secondary to him, and she only gained them through him, her husband, her king. Christine wanted the whole family. She wasn't only interested in Cody. And I think in this clip, it pisses Cody off that he wasn't her sole reason for marrying him, and that she may have been more interested in the whole family than in just him. Cody wants to know if Christine would have married him if he wasn't already married to Janelle and Mary and if he were single. And Christine doesn't know, and she tells him it's a stupid question. So Cody frustratedly says they have to accept that their destiny was to be there together, and Mary and Janelle were just a part of that. Christine says Cody is making it more complicated than it was. Christine says when she goes shopping, she sees what she wants and she gets it, and that's all there is to it. She and Cody had a destiny and they got married. And Cody smiles and he says, it wasn't complicated. And Christine says, it wasn't complicated. That's it. We were destined to be together. Bam. And Cody says he was complicated. And Christine tells him she didn't know he was complicated. She didn't know until they got married. And Cody smiles really big. And Christine tells him that's a good thing probably. And she laughs. And then she says, not really. Now, one thing to remember is the goal of plural marriage isn't supposed to be romantic love or the individual marriages. The goal is the family and harmonious familial love. It's always about the group over the self or the individual husband and wife relationships. The family should be the priority. And of course, you have to maintain the marriage relationships and have good marriage relationships for everything to be as healthy as possible. That's what Christine did. She did what the faith idealizes. She prioritized the family over Cody. And in this clip, Cody wants it known that he should be the priority. And without him, Christine would never have the family or the sister wives. Because she said she made the decision to have the family. And Cody seems to want the decision to be based on him. That he is her priority. That he was the selling point. And when he pushes it, asking if Christine would have married him if he was a single man, she doesn't know, and that pisses him off. So Christine actually always put the family first ahead of her marriage. She always wanted the family. And Cody is suggesting that Christine says her mantra is that she wanted the family, not the man, and he is pissed that it became more about the man and not the family when that is not the case. Christine was always about the family, and Janelle corroborates that this episode, along with this clip that I described, along with Christine's actions as well. But here Cody is pissed that Christine marrying him was more about the family and having the sister wives than him in this old clip. See how back then his expectation was that he wanted Christine to say she married him for him, he was the draw, and without her marriage to him, she wouldn't have the family. And she was saying when she married Cody, it was about having the family, having the sister wives, and him. She wanted the family. Her decision wasn't primarily solely based on Cody. And Cody was annoyed by it in this old clip. He was annoyed that it wasn't about him. And now he complains that she was all about him, not about the family, when her words and her actions have always indicated it was always all about the family, not about Cody. And she tolerated a terrible, unfulfilling marriage for 27 years for the sake of the family. Cody is a liar, and he always shifts his expectations for his family and for his wives. Cody thanks Christine for coming into the family next, and he thanks her for helping him gather up this mess that he was in. And when he says this, Mary winces at that, and she says in confessional that it stings when Cody says that, because it's probably directed at her. Mary says when Janelle came into the family, she was jealous and she was sad, because she didn't have the time with Cody that she had prior. She was young and she was not yet fully mature, and she says neither were Cody or Janelle. They were dealing with a lot of new situations. So Cody thought, oh, let's get Christine and save the day. And Mary says that stings. Basically, Cody is admitting that he took advantage of Christine and he used her to fix the volatile situation at home between Janelle and Mary. And he is now thanking her for allowing him to use her to make his life more convenient and for unburdening him of that hell. He is thanking Christine for being of use to him After all the sacrifice and all the years and all the suffering and the 6 kids, all she gave the family, all she gave Cody for Cody is reduced down to what she did for him, how she was of service to him, how she benefited him by making it more convenient so that he no longer had to bother with Janelle and Mary's relationship from hell. That's all Christine was worth to Cody. That's all she was reduced to. That she fixed that problem for him. She made his life easier. I thought it was so demeaning. It was so disrespectful. And it shows just how selfish and cruel Cody is and just how inconsequential Christine is to him, despite all she sacrificed, how unappreciative Cody is and how ungrateful he is. After 27 years of marriage to the mother of 6 of his kids, that was reduced down to thank you for fixing that problem for me, removing it from my back, as if Christine married him just to be an object to serve him, to be a slave there, to service him, to make his life easier and more convenient. Like she married him to solve his problem, to be used by him to make his life more convenient for him. Like that was all she was worth. Like that was her only value to him. I thought it was disgusting of Cody, and it again shows his bad character, and I thought it was really gross. Cody thanks Christine for ripping off the Band-Aid so quickly because it was never going to work if it all had to be about him. As she has always indicated, it wasn't. Cody is really bitter, and if we remember, Christine actually wanted to move faster with the divorce, and she slowed things down to accommodate Cody and his feelings, and he had trouble coming to terms with it. Christine was more than happy to go faster in the divorce process, but she slowed things for Cody to give him time to wrap his mind around everything because he was having trouble processing it. Janelle thinks that it's a very low blow. She thinks Christine was about the family and that she has always been about the family. She has been about the kids. Janelle says she needed more of a relationship with Cody, and Janelle thinks there is a point where you stick around and you try to make it work, and then there is a point where it just doesn't work anymore, and why be miserable for years, for decades? Janelle has Christine's back here, and I thought that was rad. Now, Cody tells Christine she came into their lives, she did them a favor, and now she is leaving, and he almost feels like that's a favor too. He really acts like a bratty toddler. And see how Cody dismisses his whole marriage to Christine as thanks for the favor of cleaning that mess up for me. And in resentment, he says it's a favor that she is leaving because he can see that she is glad to be free. And he can see that she's eager to move on. And he is angry. His ego is bashed in. And he is troubled. He is pissed she would ever leave him. And he wants to now act like, thank God she is gone. Thank God he is free of her. When he said an episode ago, and almost every episode, that he is struggling with this divorce. He's having trouble accepting it. Cody is angry. Christine is happy to leave him. So he wants to try and hurt her now to make himself feel better about this because he is a mean, cruel man, and he gets off on hurting anyone who dents his pride. He only cares about himself and his emotions and his point of view. He is always everyone's victim in his delusional perception. Robin sighs here, and Cody says he doesn't know because he is still upset because he is trying to figure this out. In confessional, Robin says this is awkward, that Christine and Cody are hashing out their relationship in front of all of them. But she says if they talk, they're talking. And Robin believes that there is always a chance for a miracle. She says people go through getting close to divorce and then changing their minds all of the time. She says this happens all of the time. And she says Christine may say that she is divorced, but in Robin's head, technically she is not. So Robin thinks maybe they can talk this out. Wow, Robin is really drinking the Kool-Aid. She never ever mentions Cody's fault in this or Cody's accountability. She seems to think that God needs to do a miracle to make Christine miraculously capable of tolerating a loveless, sexless marriage for the rest of her life, just so Robin can have the delusional dream in her mind of one big happy family, which it never was. If Robin thinks there would ever be a chance for a miracle, why would Christine need to change to accept less than she deserves and a marriage where she doesn't matter? Why isn't Robin hoping for God to open Cody's eyes and fix his mind and ego? Why isn't she hoping God helps Cody do things fair and equally as a husband and a father with the wives and kids he has left? And that God helps him find the capability to invest equally with all of his wives and kids. Instead, Robin seems to think God should do a miracle on Christine, that she suddenly finds it in herself to accept less than she deserves, less than her wants and needs met, that God helps Christine accept verbal and emotional abuse and manipulation and less than equal treatment for her kids as well from their dad. But not that God should fix Cody. It seems to me Robin thinks the problem is Christine. She doesn't seem to understand or want to acknowledge that the problem is Cody and his choice to be absent, and the problem is Cody's blatant favoritism, and that she and her kids matter more than anyone else in the family, and that she and her kids receive preferential treatment and more investment from Cody. Christine is about to speak and respond to what Cody said, and Cody tells Christine not to word it. He orders her to just think about what he said and soak it in, as if what he said is really supposed to get to Christine, to hurt her and be a lesson to her. Christine is just smiling because she probably knows this is the usual arrogant, unaware, selfish idiot she always deals with, and now he is showing his ass on camera. All Cody is doing is showing he doesn't understand Christine or her priorities at all. She sacrificed everything for the family and everything to raise and nurture all of his kids. She set aside her own needs and what she deserved from her husband in her marriage for the family, for the kids. So Cody saying that she says she was all about the family, but she was really all about the man. She was an opportunist and she was a selfish woman, only wanting him, only wanting to use him as a resource. It just shows that Cody is a blind idiot and a liar with a warped perception of reality, skewed by his paranoia and resentment. He lives in his own delusional world, and Robin and Cody together are the blind leading the deaf. Janelle called it out in her confessional scene. She says Christine was always about the family. When she agreed to live plural marriage, she wanted the family, she wanted the sister wives. And notice when Robin came into the family, what did Christine foreshadow? What did she say? She said, sometimes a woman wants the man and not the family. And that's exactly what happened with Robin. She came in more interested in romance and providing for herself and her kids. And she wasn't as interested in the larger family and the sister wives. She was more into the man than the family. She was more into her marriage to Cody than the family. Her marriage to Cody was all about Cody and their romantic relationship. It wasn't about the family and having the sister wives, having the larger family. I think Robin was securing a husband and stability for herself and her kids, and she always prioritized herself and her marriage to Cody and her kids over the larger family. And Cody is now projecting and saying Christine came in lying, saying she wanted the family and she only wanted him. If anything, it was Robin who came in saying, oh, I want the family, I want the family. But in the end, she's all about Cody. Christine came in wanting the family. She always genuinely wanted the family, and she sacrificed for the family. I have never seen Christine lie once. She had to put on a show in the earlier seasons about the benefits of plural marriage, but I don't think she had a choice, and she was still on her journey, and it's a process to get to a point where you can leave, where you understand your feelings. And so Christine wasn't lying back then when she promoted polygamy intentionally, but Cody lies constantly. He lied about making Truly a room and wanting to see her for a few days a week. He lied about the custody laws to Christine. He manipulates constantly. If anyone is lying, it's Cody. If anyone has a lack of credibility here, it's Cody. Christine was always about the family, and her actions show it. Her sacrifice, what she put into this family, shows it. The love all the kids have for her shows. She prioritized the family. She tolerated an unhappy marriage for longer than she needed to, for longer than she wanted to, for the family, for the kids. It wasn't for Cody. If Cody wants to say otherwise, as he stews in his resentment, that's his choice. If he wants to lie and show just how manipulative and bitter and ungrateful he is, if he wants to be blind to his blessings and all this woman, Christine, the mother of his kids, gave for him and for this family, that's on Cody. But the family loves Christine, and the kids all love Christine. They all get along. Christine and Janelle are close. Christine is close with Janelle's kids. Christine's kids are close with Janelle's kids. They're all close with Janelle. Christine is very close to everyone. Maddie, Janelle's daughter, has Isabel living with her and her family. Hunter, Janelle's son, came to both Isabel's surgery and her move to North Carolina. Gabe defended Christine to his dad when his dad tried to blame Christine's actions and even Janelle's actions for why he couldn't come around. Gabe reminded Cody, he mentioned Christine's sacrifice of being the caregiver, and Cody tried to dismiss it as being, a long time ago. Gabe and Garrison insisted where Christine goes for Thanksgiving is where they would go. All of the relationships Christine has now, all the times the kids in the family show up for Christine, that is a testament to just how much Christine sacrificed for the family, and that she was always all about the family. And to say otherwise is a lie. The relationships that Christine has, that she will continue to have with certain family members and sister wives, are proof of who she prioritizes, of who she sacrificed for. She stayed with a man who treated her as less than, who didn't see her, because of her love for the family, because of her love for the kids. She tolerated a marriage where she did not get what she needed and where her kids didn't always get what they needed from their dad. That left her unfulfilled, all for this family and the relationships that she has with Janelle and with all the kids. And those relationships she has with Janelle and all the kids is proof of her putting the family first. She never put the man ahead of the family. And Cody can say it all he likes, but if she had put Cody and her marriage ahead of the family, like Robin, she wouldn't have such strong, steadfast relationships with all of the kids in the family and with Janelle. And if Cody put the family first ahead of his favorite wife, Robin, and her kids, maybe he too would have decent relationships with all of the kids in the family. When Cody mentions how Christine was all about the man, not the family, even though she says otherwise and Christine wants to respond and Cody shushes her, he demands that she soak in that. Janelle responds to that. She, in confessional, mimics Cody saying, well, you better not give me any rebuttal. Just listen to what I said, kind of sternly, like she's mocking Cody. And Janelle says she doesn't know who this patriarchal guy is because this is not the guy she was married to for years. Christine says she did love the idea of a family, of having sister wives, of raising kids together. She says if she and Cody don't have a good marriage, and it's an important part of a plural family, that each relationship and each marriage is strong too, they always talk about the spokes in a wheel, she says. And when there is a spoke that's broken, she asks, how do you keep it going? So she stayed because she says she made it about the family. She says she did so much for the family. It was all about having family functions and get-togethers and family parties. She says her house was always open to everybody. She loves the big family activities that they had, and the big family is great. But she says when you feel like you are a minimal person in Cody's big picture, and you really don't even matter in the big picture, it changes the perspective on everything. Christine says for years she has been heartbroken in their relationship, and she was tired of being heartbroken. She was tired. Cody says it's because Christine had no big picture. It was just her. And Christine asks Cody, "You don't think I stayed for the big picture as long as I did?" And Cody says cynically he guesses. Christine says she stayed for so long because she wanted it to work. Cody thanks her very bitterly. He says he doesn't know. In confessional, Cody says there is this realization of screw it. Listen, this has been bad for a long time, and he has sat here whining about it, breaking about it recently, whereas now he feels he's lucky about it even lasting this long. He is coming to this realization that he is so upset about how this has gone down. He doesn't know the exact reason he's so upset. He thinks he is angry because when you get divorced, you're supposed to be angry. Cody says he has no idea what is going on with him, but he is really upset by this. And if he really boils it down, if he brings it to the core of what is going on, it feels like after all he has done, he is being rejected anyway. And it's not just rejection for him, but rejection for some of his kids and his other wives. Cody is admitting here he is mentally confused. He doesn't understand his emotions. He doesn't understand what he feels. He feels angry because he had to be so inconvenienced by Christine and her complaints and her emotional suffering during his marriage with her. And he feels it was all for nothing. His arrogance took a dent because she is leaving him and he feels rejected, like Christine doesn't see him as the hero and the great superior guy he delusionally perceives himself to be. Cody is basically angry because Christine hurt his ego and humiliated him, and because now Robin, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna feel personally rejected by Christine, like Christine's divorce is personal, about rejecting them. Everything is selfish. Everything is about how it affects Cody or Robin and her kids. Cody doesn't mention how will the family cope? How will my other kids cope? All my other kids. Where are they at emotionally? How can I make this easier on them? What can I do to help and reassure them? What can I do to help Christine raise truly? What can I do to co-parent? What can I do to take responsibility for my part in this? It's not about anyone but Cody and how he feels, how he is coping, how he will take this. And it's also about Robin and her kids and how they feel about it. And it upsets him, not that his ex-wife Christine has left him, not that she is so unhappy, not how the kids all feel about this or how the kids feel about him or how his family will function now. It's about how he feels, his emotions and the emotions of his wife, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. When he says his other wives were rejected, he doesn't mean Janelle. Janelle and Christine are close, and he no longer considers himself married to Mary. So the only wife he is talking about being rejected is Robin and her kids. He is referring to Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna, and maybe Saul and Ari, although the only way they would take Christine leaving as a personal rejection of them would be if Cody and Robin frame it that way to them. It has nothing to do with them at all, Christine leaving. It's nothing personal towards them. It's nothing about them on a personal level. It's not even for them to take personally. Cody seems more upset about Robin and Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna feeling rejected by Christine than he does about how all of his other kids feel, or his other wives, other than Robin and her kids. Cody is only concerned with his own feelings and with the feelings of Robin and her kids, the royal children. It seems to me as the father and the husband of the family that he would be concerned with Christine's kids with him and the kids and the wives who are closest with Christine and how they will take this. Like maybe Janelle and her kids, maybe even Mary, all the people who were there from the beginning when Christine entered the family. Christine isn't as close with Robin and her kids. Her marriage broke down. It's nothing personal against them, but she is closest to other people in the family. And those are the people Cody should be checking up with to see how they are coping, to see where they are at emotionally. But he only seems concerned about himself and Robin and her kids, when Robin and her kids really aren't the closest to Christine. I don't hear him speak of Peyton and Gwen and Isabel and McKelty and Aspen and Truly or any of Janelle's kids, the people who are closest to her. He's not worried for them. He is worried about his anger and the personal rejection of Robin and her kids, which is all delusion. They are so self-centered and selfish and egotistical and arrogant. They think everything is about them. Even the dissolution and the breakup of Christine's marriage to Cody. They don't even respect Christine and give her the dignity to let that be about her. Christine factors in that Robin and her kids get preferential treatment and more investment from Cody. They matter more to Cody. It hurts Christine. It hurts her kids that they matter less to Cody and are treated as such. But it was never personally about Robin and her kids at all. But because Robin is selfish and just as delusional as Cody, she makes it about that us versus them mentality, that paranoia, that delusion she holds on to. She started pushing that us versus them mentality right away. She has Cody thinking that way too. Next, Cody says to Christine that he is curious. He says in all of this, his relationships with the adult kids is really off too. And he asks Christine if she has been talking to the adult kids about this. Christine says no, they rarely discuss this. No one wants to talk about this. And she tells Cody she thinks his relationships with his kids are all off because of COVID, not because of her. In confessional, Cody says that's bull. She is telling them she is running to this person, this person, this person, and this person to complain about the relationship. Cody says Christine is playing a game. She has been playing games for years, and he just calls bullshit. Project much, Cody? Cody plays everything like a game. It's always us versus them. And because he thinks his family is to be played like a game and that everyone is against him, everyone wants power and control, everyone manipulates just because he behaves in that manner, he expects everyone around him to also behave in the same manner. Cody is playing games. Cody is the liar. Cody is the bullshit artist who has been playing games. He is the one who tries to manipulate and leverage things, just like how he wanted to leverage sex and intimacy with his wife Christine for Christine being friendlier with Robin, or how he tried to leverage Truly, how his own daughter was leveraged for getting a settlement to his advantage in the divorce and in Christine leaving. Christine isn't influencing anyone against Cody. That's Cody's paranoia and Cody's guilt. Cody knows he is behaving badly. He knows he isn't doing right by the other wives and his kids, and he feels it. And so because he knows he is giving everyone his worst, he expects the same from everyone around him. He feels paranoid because he knows he is doing something wrong. If Cody knew he was doing his best and doing the right thing by his family, he wouldn't be so paranoid all the time. He wouldn't be assuming the worst. He wouldn't have this us versus them mentality. He is the one playing games. He's paranoid. He's delusional. And so he assumes Christine is playing games too, when he is the only one playing this game by himself with Robin. No one else sees this as a game. No one else is conspiring against him. This is a family. The only people who don't treat this as a family are Cody and Robin. Cody says he cannot figure out why he is so angry. And Christine says it's sad. Janelle says she has seen Cody grieving in a way like she has never seen him grieve before. She says he disguises it, but it's grief. In confessional, Janelle says Cody has been off. He's gone to a more angry place much more quickly than he ever did. And she finally realized it's a grieving process for him. Cody says he guesses that he's mad because he feels like an investor who put everything he had in and it just didn't work. Cody says in their marriage, he was putting in so much effort. He was holding Christine's hand, kissing her, but he wasn't in love. He was doing it as part of his duty as a husband. And he says Christine didn't love him either. She quit loving him years ago. And now that they are here, he is so upset because it's not just the breakup of two people, it's the breakup of a family. Christine is way out of Cody's league. I can't even believe that he's acting like play acting at affection with her was such a hardship for him. It was so difficult. Like she's a troglodyte. She is gorgeous. What the fuck is up with him? I have a feeling Cody has he doesn't like sex because he stopped sex with Mary over a decade ago. I don't know what he does with Janelle, but he obviously stopped sex and intimacy with Christine a while ago. He obviously doesn't like that kind of affection with his wives, and maybe it's something with him. I don't know. He's acting like it was such a huge investment to have to hold her hand or kiss her, or for him to show any type of affection towards her. It's very weird. I just want to point out that Christine isn't the one who broke up the family. If Christine left her unhappy marriage and it broke up the family because of Cody's choices and his failure to be a good father and husband in her household and in her marriage, because Cody chose to be an absent father and an absent husband, it was Cody and Cody's choices alone that broke up the family, not Christine divorcing Cody because she could no longer tolerate an unfulfilling, loveless, sexless marriage that caused her pain and that hurt her kids when they saw how invested Cody was with Robin's kids as he neglected them. Cody wants to know if anyone else has anything to say. Everyone is silent. It's very awkward. There's a very awkward silence. Next, Cody makes Mary's day. She is all smiles, ear to ear, like a kid in a candy store. I don't want to be crass, but it is like she got wet when Cody spoke directly to her and said her name. She had so much pep in her step. She came to life when Cody addressed her. It was so freaking sad and desperate to watch the way she reacted to Cody's talking to her. All because Cody talked to her, he said her name, he turns to Mary and he tells her that she looks like she has something to say. She has a look on her face like she knows the whole world, but she is not going to say something. Mary blushes and smiles and she glows and she asks Cody, "What?" She is so thrilled. I mean, honestly, she even looks happier than when she was with Jen, I have to say. She's blushing and glowing and googly-eyed. She has a look like on some teen show where the nerd drops her books and the football star picks them up and sees her. It's like very junior high, and it's so weird to me to see a 40-something-year-old lady get that excited. Because the man she refers to as her husband, who said he no longer considers himself married to her, has spoken to her and said her name even. She was ecstatic. She was giddy with that lovey-dovey glow. WTF. This is a cross between Mean Girls and The Breakfast Club. Some of these people in the show act like they haven't even graduated high school. Cody tells Mary that she looks like the bird who ate the mouse. Mary is laughing. She's so happy. She's chuckling to herself and she's blushing. And she asks him what he thinks she has to say. And she has this huge smile taking up her whole face. Mary is electrified. She's laughing. She's preening. She is so thrilled that Cody talked to her. Mary says in confessional that she doesn't know why Cody is saying this to her. She really doesn't. She has had plenty of thoughts throughout the conversation, but she says it's not her business to say. Mary is giggling. She is so happy to be talking to her quote unquote husband directly. She just laughs. She is so happy. She doesn't know what Cody is talking about. In confessional, Cody says he knows Mary's tics. He knows her. He says she is leaking emotion and he recognizes it after all of these years. He says normally it drives him nuts, but now he is just looking for Mary to be supportive of him because he feels like he is swimming in some really deep water and he is looking for somebody to throw him a life raft here. So he wants to treat Mary like shit most of the time, and remind the viewers and God and the whole world and Mary, he wants it known internationally that he and Mary will never, ever, ever be together. He doesn't even consider her his wife, and he won't mind if she leaves. But now he wants to give Mary the opportunity to gain points with him by interfering to invalidate Christine. He is looking to Mary to help because Robin is all tapped out. She's spent. She missed her afternoon nap for this. She's tired. That curling iron she used to do her sausage roll curls fried a few too many neurons this morning, and she just cannot. Anyways, now Cody wants this woman he gets joy out of perpetually rejecting, Mary, the woman it makes him feel good to be cruel to. Knowing she is desperate to be with him, he now wants to give her an opportunity to get in with him, to get in his good graces a little bit. And he thinks she will feel pressure to please him, and he will get her to jump on the bandwagon to invalidate Christine. He knows Robin is done and Janelle is Team Christine. That's how gross and manipulative Cody is. This is all about him and trying to make himself look and feel better. Cody tells the group he thinks this is the last time they will ever have this discussion. The house will be sold, Christine will be gone, and Cody says he is the only one who is saying something, and he is a mixed ball of emotions. Christine tells Cody he isn't the only one who is saying something. Robin says she is struggling today, so she will do better another day. Robin says what Christine is telling them today is a shock, and today she knows she isn't completely calm. She is struggling. Everything is about her. This isn't about her. This is about Christine and Cody, their kids, and their marriage. Robin says some days she feels like they're going to figure this out. They will still make it be cohesive. They will make it workable. But today, she doesn't know. Cody says it's a strange world to be going through a divorce while he is married to somebody who is loyal and loving like Robin. But Robin has been going through this with him. He says she came into this family cap in hand saying, please accept me. Please accept my children. And he says she with him is being rejected. Robin says she is dealing with a lot of anger and mourning. She says she doesn't mean to push Christine away. She is just frustrated. Christine should be the one bent out of shape emotionally, and she is keeping her composure, and Robin is trying to milk this for all it's worth emotionally, and she's trying to get Christine to be the one to comfort her. She should be the one comforting Christine. All she could say to her was, sorry to see you go, in a snarky way as she got up to leave. Christine tells Robin she isn't pushing her away. She knows Robin is frustrated. She knows Robin is angry and that it's hard. Cody says his emotions feel so pathetic that he is frustrated by it. He says plural marriage isn't easy. He says on a bad day, you can feel trapped in it. And Christine is getting out of the lobster bucket that he is in. He says this is really hard lifestyle, and he's in this lifestyle because of Christine. And it's been very hard, partly because of Christine, and she is just leaving now. I think Cody is angry because he wants to live monogamously with Robin. He wants to be free of plural marriage. And Christine, he views as someone who made plural marriage harder for him, probably because she expected things to be done fair and equally. And she grew up in the lifestyle, and she knows how it should go. She knows how it should be lived, and that Cody isn't living it the right way. And Cody now resents that Christine gets to live free of the burden of plural marriage and free of the suffering. She gets to just go be happy and free. And Cody wishes he could be free of plural marriage too. He wishes he could just have monogamy, that he could just be free of his obstacles to his goals in life, like Christine can. He is blaming Christine for why it was so hard, rather than considering that maybe he makes plural marriage harder for everyone involved, and maybe he magnifies the inevitable suffering that comes with the lifestyle by having a blatantly obvious favorite wife and blatantly obvious favorite kids. He also refuses to do things fairly and equally with each wife and kids. He also seems to be blaming Christine for choosing plural marriage for him. She has nothing to do with Cody making that choice to have a plural family. He decided that long before Christine came into the picture. Notice how Cody paints a picture of Robin being a meek victim, an outsider, begging to be accepted into this family. And the family, he's painting it as the family rejecting her. Us versus them. It's us versus them. That isn't the case. The family accepted Robin. Everyone was kind to Robin. Everyone was kind to her kids. She may not be the favorite in the family. Her kids may not be the favorites. And she can't expect that the family who all grew up together for 16 years before she and her kids came along would show her preferential treatment, or that she and her kids would have the same bonds and connections as the rest of the family who were together for 16 years before she entered the family. When she came in, she quickly became the favorite wife. Cody was more invested in Robin and her kids than anyone else in the family. He replaced his family with Robin's. He prioritized Robin, so Robin was accepted by the family. She just wasn't going to get extra deference or preferential treatment from the other wives and kids. And she has to understand, if her kids get favoritism, if they get more from Cody, more investment, more time, more effort, more sacrifice from Cody than any of the other kids in the family or anyone else gets, to the point where Cody neglects the other households, there will be resentment. And they will be accepted regardless. They just aren't going to be the stars of the show. And there may be negative feelings there. There may be resentment there. Because Robin and her kids do get treated differently than everyone else in the family. And it causes a lot of pain and suffering to the other wives and kids to know that they matter less and to feel that on a regular basis. So Robin is accepted by the family, and she is the one who also constantly puts down the other kids and the other wives in the family. She says Isabel is stupid to choose to return to in-person class for senior year. Who calls a kid stupid? She blames Gabe for all kinds of things, like calling her and asking her to relax Cody on the COVID rules. She blames Gabe for having a girlfriend and not being able to go to Thanksgiving. She says Christine and Janelle influenced the kids against her. She is paranoid. She knows that she gets special treatment from Cody. She knows it's to the detriment of everyone else in the family. She knows if there is resentment or if there are negative emotions there, it's because of the preferential treatment she and her kids receive. And she knows she helps perpetuate the idea that she isn't accepted, that she and her kids are outsiders who are bullied and rejected by the rest of the family, when obviously that isn't the case. Everyone accepts Robin and her kids. Everyone is cordial. They will get treated the same like everyone else in the family. When they don't get treated like they are special, when they don't get extra deference from the rest of the family, they feel rejected. The problem is they expect deference. They expect preferential treatment. They feel entitled to it. And when they don't get treated like they are really special, they don't get extra favoritism from the rest of the family, they take it as cruelty, as bullying, as personal rejection. And it's all because they are paranoid, because they know they get treated better than everyone else. They perpetuate the division by expressing the notion to Cody that they are rejected, that it hurts them, that Cody needs to protect them from the rest of his family. And Cody buys it, hook, line, and sinker. But Robin and her kids are accepted in the family. In fact, when members of the family want to see Robin and her kids, they are rejected. Like when Isabel was recovering from her surgery and she wanted to chill at Robin's house to see her dad and her siblings. She wasn't allowed in, but the nanny was. Robin makes a big show now of wiping away her tears in the awkward silences. She and her pasty white feet have a question for Christine. And her question is nothing to do with how she can help Christine or Christine's emotions or her concern for Christine's well-being. Robin has a selfish question. Her feet are so freaking pale. I noticed it and it was so distracting. Robin asks if Christine is in a place where she wants to just go and do her thing And if those of the kids that she is close to, she will still spend time with, and the rest of them that maybe Christine doesn't have a good relationship with, she asks what Christine plans to do with them. Robin asks, do we just need to give you your space? She asks if Christine is interested in working stuff out from the past how many years. Clearly, Robin doesn't know how to be appropriate and she doesn't know how to read the room. She is so selfish. Christine tells Robin for right now, she needs space just for right now. A big part of Christine leaving is she feels she doesn't matter as much to Cody as Robin and her kids. Her kids don't matter as much to Cody as Robin's kids do. So why, as she is leaving and moving away, would she want to sit and talk to this woman who comes before her, who is more important to Cody than her, who Cody favors over her, a woman whose kids get better preferential treatment and more investment from Cody than her kids do, to the point where her kids notice and it breaks their hearts. You see how selfish Robin is? Robin is worried about herself and her relationship with Christine. Right now, that is the last thing on Christine's mind. It's not even the right time for Robin to bring this up with Christine at all. Robin should be more concerned with Christine's well-being. But Robin is selfish. Robin seems like a stage 5 clinger, like if she was dating a monogamous man who clearly broke up with her, she would ask, can we still be friends? Will we still see each other? She doesn't take the hint, and she seems like she wants to portray herself like she is all about her sister wives, like all of a sudden she wants to be homegirls with Christine. She's desperate for Christine's acceptance. I think Robin feels guilty. She knows Cody's blatant favoritism is a big reason for Christine's suffering and her kids' suffering as well. She feels guilty, and she also wants to play the part of the caring sister wife who just wants to be friends, who also, let's remember, just called Christine a liar twice. She attempted to invalidate Christine's marriage experience, her kids' experiences, and who also still hasn't made a bedroom for Truly in her goblin's lair. Who wants to be friends with a woman who calls your kids stupid, slams your other kids, accuses you of manipulating the kids against their dad? It was the most inappropriate time for Robin to even think about wondering about her friendship with Christine, let alone Robin asking. She just wanted to look like a victim. She wants to make it look like Christine isn't accepting of her, like Christine is rejecting her. Robin says she has been mourning the loss of the family culture, and there's this part of her that has wondered if Cody is not in the picture for Christine. Will it then be easier for her to have a relationship with Robin and with her kids? And Robin holds back tears as she says that is what she is asking Christine. Christine says she sees them getting together for family reunions. She does see them having fun together. And Robin asks Christine if that is the extent of what Christine wants, just family reunions. And Christine says, for now, yeah. She says as far as the relationships with the other adults, she thinks she and Janelle are super close, but she isn't close with the rest of them. And for right now, she needs it that way. In confessional, through tears, Robin tries to milk out. She says it's kind of the last little bit of hope, sort of dying. Mary says her immediate thought was she may as well stand up and leave because there is no point in her being in this conversation. She says Christine doesn't want to work on anything, and she has seen Christine's non-acceptance of Robin and her disdain for her through the years. So, as much as it hurts, Mary, she is glad to know where Christine stands. Mary is just angry and resentful, and she is being a bitch here. She's also trying to support Cody and Robin. Christine is accepting of Robin. Why is it that Robin needs to get approval and acceptance and extra deference from Christine so badly? Like she's desperate for attention from Christine. Christine in season 1 predicted everything that would come to pass. She said sometimes a woman is interested in the man and not the family. She said she felt like Cody was replacing his family with Robin and her kids. She said she was afraid she would lose her best friend and companion in Cody. Everything she said is exactly what happened in this family. And Christine is still civil and kind and gracious with Robin. I can understand why she can't be her best friend. I can understand why she doesn't want to be her best friend. I can understand when she has such a bad, loveless, sexless, disconnected marriage with Cody, how it would hurt Christine to see the connection and the affection and the love and the investment he has for Robin and at Robin's house with her kids. And Christine seeing that on display would hurt. Christine was very gracious. She tried with Robin. She helped some with My Sister Wives Closet. She gave Robin that adorable cross stitch when she had Saul that said, "Our family has grown by 2 feet." Christine tried despite everything. She did what she could, and she was gracious to Robin. She was always friendly and kind. Robin wants to make it seem like Christine bullied her, like all she wants is Christine's friendship and acceptance and approval. And she's making it seem like Christine rejected her, but that isn't the case. Cody wants to blame Christine. He wants all the accountability for his failed marriage and for her leaving put directly and solely on her. She did this to him. She refused to be her best. She was incapable to be her best, to reach her higher calling. In Cody's opinion, it's her fault. She isn't cut out for this. It's her fault. She is quitting because she doesn't want to work on the relationships. She doesn't want to be a good sister wife. It's her fault that she refuses to try. As if they beg her to try and she just won't try. Listen, she tried for 27 years. She tried all she could. Mary wants to make it seem like Christine is the problem. Christine didn't accept Robin. Christine had issues with her. She isn't willing to try. Everyone wants to make it seem like Christine is leaving because she is weak, because she is lazy. She isn't her best. She is deficient. She lost her faith. She doesn't want to do the hard work. She wants to be selfish. She wants to take the easy way out. It's all her fault. She is evil. She rejects the family. She influences the kids against Cody and Robin and the family. That's not the case. And if you want proof of the truth, just look at the relationships Christine has in the family. Look at Maddie and Caleb taking in Isabel. Look at Hunter, Janelle's son, visiting when Isabel had her surgery and when Isabel moved to North Carolina. Look at how all of Janelle's kids support Christine and all of her kids. And they take up for Christine. And they love her and they value her. They're grateful for her. They support her. Cody's kids don't have good relationships with Cody because of his choices, because of his bad behavior. Cody chooses to be absent. Cody chooses to show favoritism. Cody chooses to stew in resentment. He chooses to put himself and his emotions ahead of everyone else's in the family. He refuses to be humble. He refuses to make an effort to connect. He refuses to communicate. He refuses to take accountability. And on top of that, he manipulates and emotionally and verbally abuses everyone in his family. I doubt the kids like it when they see the disparity in the way Cody treats their moms and the way they are treated versus Robin and her kids. Cody wants to blame Christine for all the world's ills, all of the problems in the family, as if Christine is the Brown family scapegoat. When the only person to blame for this whole mess is Cody and his choices. Christine didn't do anything to Cody. She didn't do anything but give of herself and sacrifice and nurture and love as the heart of his Brown family. And if Cody can't see that, and if he can't look past his own ego to see the truth, that he is the real problem here, and that he is responsible to take accountability and also to maintain all of his relationships, if he wants to deflect and blame everyone else for his issues he has with every relationship he has within his family, if he wants to make Christine the heart of the Brown family scapegoat, it just goes to show how delusional he is and how disconnected he is from reality. Christine should be appreciated by him. He should be grateful for her. He should have gratitude, and instead he sees her as the opposite of the blessing that she is to his family. And that says a lot about how out of touch with reality Cody is and just how caught up in his ego he is. Christine says she isn't trying to end it that way, though. It isn't an end, she reassures Robin. And Robin says it's not a trap question, it's a real question. Christine says she didn't think so. Christine says She also thinks it's a real question and she appreciates it. Robin is crying and she says it's like she doesn't know what she is to Christine. Notice how Robin admits that she uses manipulations and trap questions. She maintains this isn't a trap question. So she acknowledges then that she does spin a narrative. She does manipulate. She does ask trap questions, or she wouldn't have to preface her question with, this is not a trap question. Cody aggressively points and he tells Robin that Christine has treated her like dirt from the very beginning. That's the relationship she has with Christine. And that's the reason Cody is angry. That's what he says. He stands up and he shouts that is the reason he is pissed off, because Christine never really tried to have a good relationship with these other people. And that's the reason he is pissed off. And he says it's vomiting out of him because he has sat here with it thinking, Christine, try and do this. And she wanted to try to renegotiate a relationship with him, but she wouldn't even have a decent relationship with them. Why would a wife have to renegotiate a relationship with her husband? This isn't a business transaction. It's a marriage. It's a connection. It's supposed to be a loving relationship of two equal partners. The way Cody describes it here, first of all, it seems as if he is jealous that Christine gets to be free of plural marriage, but he doesn't. Because we all know he dreams of monogamy. We also see that Cody seems very angry that Christine refuses to kiss Robin's ass and give her and her kids deferential treatment. He seems to think that it's appropriate to leverage that she must be friendly with Robin in order for him to put more effort in with her in her marriage. Imagine being Christine, telling your husband what you need from him, telling him you feel that you and your kids have felt like Robin and her kids matter more to him, and they feel as if he is more invested over there and that it hurts the kids and it hurts her, that Robin and her kids are the favorites who get the preferential treatment as she and her kids are neglected. Imagine her saying to Cody, I want a close bond with you. I want intimacy. I want a connection. I want to be seen. I want to be considered by you. I want you invested with our kids. Saying this to Cody, saying, I want intimacy. And him saying, be close to Robin. Treat her well. Pull out the red carpet. Bend to her. Make her feel like you adore her. And then we will talk about things. Then we'll negotiate from there when you change your behavior with Robin. The response would be, fuck you and fuck off, right? Because it's a slap in the face. And it only proves the point that Cody favors Robin. He would leverage his marriage with another wife for Robin so Robin can feel she is treated just as importantly as she thinks she is. It would feel incredibly insulting to Christine and incredibly hopeless and like the marriage is beyond broken, especially knowing her kids feel like they matter less to Cody than Robin's kids. Christine tried with Robin. She made as much of an effort as she could, considering the circumstances. She was very gracious, and Robin's personality issues make it very difficult to want to befriend her. I imagine it would be hard for Christine to be able to trust Robin. Christine made Robin that cross-stitch when Saul was born. She was willing to help with Robin's kids, but Robin rejected it. Instead, she hired on Mindy. Christine included Robin's daughter in her Christmas breakfast tradition in Vegas. She included Robin in every graduation surprise where they sing and dance for the kids. She included Robin's 2 stars in the making in the song for Isabel. Her kids are included. They are accepted. But because Robin and Cody are so paranoid and delusional, stewing in their bitterness, they refuse to see it. And Robin refuses to see it. Cody is blaming Christine, saying she ruined their family, all because she refused to get along better with Robin. Christine wanted a better relationship with her husband, Cody, now ex-husband, and he told her to be better with her sister wives, meaning Robin. And he is blaming her, saying she was too lazy and selfish to be willing to work hard to do it, to make that relationship better. She refused to make that effort. Cody is suggesting if she had, in return, their marriage would be better. To me, it sounds like toxic manipulation. It sounds like Cody being present as a husband and a father is contingent on how happy he and Robin are with how Christine is treating Robin. That's not the agreement Christine signed up for, that Cody will be a good husband and a good father till death do us part, but only if he is satisfied that she kissed the ring well enough. For Robin, Cody wants to pin the dysfunction in his family, the dysfunction in plural marriage, and the dysfunction in all of the bad relationships between him and his kids and in the family and among the sister wives, all on Christine. And because Christine chose to leave and not tolerate less than she deserves for the rest of her life, in Cody's eyes, it's her fault that the family failed. She destroyed the family. She did this to him. It couldn't possibly be Cody and his choices, and his choice to have a favorite wife and kids who he gives preferential treatment to, and his choice to be absent with everyone else and neglect everyone else. It couldn't possibly be Cody's choice to manipulate and his choice to create hoops for his wives and kids to jump through just to get crumbs from him. And it couldn't possibly be Cody's choice to treat his ex-wife as less than. And it couldn't possibly be Cody's choice to ignore every time Christine told him there was a problem because he's emotionally lazy and it's an inconvenience. It couldn't possibly be Cody and his narcissistic personality traits, delusional thinking, paranoia, and control issues. It couldn't possibly be Cody and his bad choices and his bad behavior and his lack of effort and appreciation and his lack of respect. This man doesn't even respect his own family, his wives and kids. He referred to them as the obstacles to his goals in life. He prioritizes himself, his emotions, and then Robin and her kids. He says the kids were the easy part. He says, man, just the knife in the kidneys over all these years and the sacrifices that he made to love her, wasted. And he is shouting and angry as he says this. It's ridiculous. Accountability, he says, is what he has been asking for here. And he says Christine is running away rather than being accountable. He says she is like, I'm divorced, I'm leaving, I'm done with you, you're out of my house, instead of actually making the relationships work and trying. Now, I mentioned that Cody referred to being stabbed in the kidneys rather than the heart, and how a viewer alerted me to the significance of the kidneys in the Old Testament. The kidneys, of course, are the center of emotion. This is Cody being angry that he has been humiliated because of his ego being severely dented by Christine leaving. It exposes Cody as a failure or a fraud who advocated for polygamy as a system he even loathes and resents himself. He resents his choice to create a plural family, and now he is mad because Christine gets out and he can't. He is wanting to pin everything wrong in his family and all of his failed relationships with his kids on Christine, rather than putting the accountability for the failure of his family and relationships where it belongs on himself, on his choices, and on his bad behavior and judgment, on his unwillingness to sacrifice, and on his low investment level with everyone else in the family but Robin and her kids. Cody puts himself first. He puts his emotions first. He prioritizes the emotions of Robin and her kids. Not once did I see Cody concerned for the emotions of his other kids, wondering where he as a father went wrong. Instead, he went straight to blaming Christine for his strained relationships that she has absolutely nothing to do with. Cody wants to blame Christine rather than blame himself. He wants Christine to tattle about which kids suggested she should leave him so he can pencil them in at the top of his shit list. Maybe that's why he talked to Mary. He doesn't high priority hate her. He lowers the resentment level to orange, maybe even yellow with Mary. It's no longer red. Red is reserved for Christine and Janelle, who fucked up when she said yay when Christine announced she sold her house. And it's also reserved for the kids who encouraged Christine to leave Cody. And the kid he called a narcissist. Cody ironically mentions how Christine isn't taking accountability. That's the problem, he says. She refuses to take accountability. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Cody takes zero accountability. He hasn't this whole time. He doesn't take accountability for anything. It's always someone else, that wife or this kid. He is never the problem. He's faultless. He's never to blame. He's a knight in shining armor, there to protect his wife Robin and her kids from the rest of the family's cruelty, their bullying, all led by the leader of the clique, the big bully supreme, Christine, and the kids who follow her around because she charms them with her magic hexes, buzz, 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 chirp, 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 gossiping away, influencing them, manipulating them, conspiring against the family patriarch. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching polygamous Game of Thrones with all the talk of lies and plotting and all the treason and manipulation by the evil witch against the fair and kind ramen-haired king and his wife, Eyebrows. Let's talk about accountability. Cody talked about accountability a lot in the earlier seasons. He said he wanted his kids to learn to be accountable, to own their choices. And I haven't seen Cody take accountability for anything. I didn't see him 100% own his failure in his marriage to Mary and the way he abandoned her as a husband, the way he distanced himself from Mary, the way he removed intimacy with Mary, the way he removed a connection with Mary, the way he looked through Mary. Cody brings up the catfish whenever he can, but he doesn't ever fully take responsibility for the part he played in that situation. We only learned from Mary at the last tell-all that he had stopped intimacy with her over a decade ago. Does Cody take accountability for the way he destroyed his family with his COVID protocols, or for how him repeatedly refusing to be there for Isabel could affect her for the rest of her life? It's a big deal to feel like you don't matter enough to the people who made you for them to be there at major life events, for them to feel it's okay to not be there protecting you and supporting you. It hurts to feel like you don't matter to the people who created you. Does Cody take accountability for the possible lasting effects of his bad choice, of how it felt for him not to make it to Isabel's move to North Carolina, but for him to find it important enough to be there to officiate his friend Brian's wedding? Miraculously, COVID suddenly wasn't a problem then. Brian mattered more to Cody than his daughter. Cody was able to break his COVID protocols for Brian, but not for his daughter's major surgery. He was able to officiate Brian's wedding, but he was not able to break his COVID protocols for his daughter's major surgery. Did Cody take accountability for hurting Isabel? Did Cody take accountability for saying he wanted Truly a few days a week while they were still in Flagstaff, and for saying he would get her a bedroom, and then saying there wasn't enough room in that big mansion, and then not following through with seeing Truly even once a week? Did Cody take accountability for the choices he made that resulted in the strained relationships with his older kids? Did Cody take accountability for not doing things fairly and equally across the board, or for all the times he didn't prioritize all of his kids the same? Did Cody take accountability for his part in the failure of his marriage to Christine? Christine takes accountability. I haven't seen Cody take a shred of accountability. Why is it just Christine who should try? How come no one addresses Cody's lack of effort and Cody's neglect? Notice how Cody has poor relationships with everyone in his family. There's a common denominator there, and it's not Christine. It's very insulting, by the way, for Cody to assume that Christine influences the kids against him intentionally in a manipulative way. That's not the case. It's insulting to Christine, and it's insulting to his kids for Cody to think so little of them that they would be influenced, and like they are so weak-minded that they can't think for themselves as adults. Cody is his own worst enemy. Cody is the problem, and Cody knows that. He just doesn't want to face it. But it's never going to just go away or vanish into thin air like Cody hopes just because he ignores the issue or he deflects the blame on to his ex-wife. Cody says if she isn't trying to be her best self in this relationship or this family, then she is wasting her time. He says marriage is a call to be better than you are, and plural marriage is a higher call. Maybe Cody should heed his own words, because there is no way in hell the way he behaves that he is being his best self. In their faith, the goal of plural marriage is harmonious familial love. You put the group over the self, the family over the individual, the group over the individual, over the self, over your individual wants and needs and your individual marriage. You prioritize the family and natural, instinctive, intuitive human emotions one would naturally suffer with many women sharing a husband are considered to be weaknesses to overcome. And when you do overcome these weaknesses, which are just natural human emotions and not weaknesses at all, you supposedly become the best version of yourself that you can be, which is what God wants. If you struggle emotionally, it means you don't believe enough, you're weak, you're sinful. So Christine leaving is her choosing not to do the hard work and be her best self. This is like cult speak. Cody is telling her she is weak, she is bad, she can't do the hard work, she isn't good enough to reach this higher calling, she isn't her best self, she isn't capable to be her best. They are taught in this faith that their emotions that they struggle with as a result of plural marriage, all of these emotions are something one must overcome. It's not just natural human emotions, it's weakness that prevents you from being your best self, from being how God wants you to be. Cody is saying Christine can't be her best. She isn't capable. She can't be better than she is. She isn't as superior as they are. She is a failure who can't ascend to that higher calling. It's not meant for her. He wants to try and really rub it in. He knows Christine was raised in that faith. He knows he is taking a dig, trying to tell her she isn't at that higher level. She can't become her best. But what's interesting is Cody is projecting here. He is the one who behaves at his worst. He uses his presence as a father and a husband as a reward for good behavior, contingent on obedience and unyielding adoration. He manipulates, he emotionally and verbally abuses and neglects. He acts like his family is Game of Thrones and he is on a quest for absolute control. Cody isn't his best self in the family or in any of his relationships, probably even Robin's. Imagine what he's like behind closed doors. He is the one who refuses to make an effort or sacrifice. Everything he does, refusing to try, not making an effort, not being his best self as a father or a husband, not doing things fairly and equally, stewing in resentment, being the lowest version of himself possible, unable to be any better. That's Cody. He is projecting his behavior onto Christine. That Christine is the one who refuses to try. Christine is the one incapable of better, when obviously it's him who is inept. Christine says she never tried to treat anybody like crap. She never did. And Cody said she did though. She did it regardless. Christine apologizes here and she doesn't have anything to apologize for. But she says she really never tried to treat anybody like crap. She never did. She apologizes. She says she didn't mean to do this. And Cody says she bullshits so much and she admitted to it and she couldn't correct it. And now they're sitting here with a broken family over it, as if it's Christine's fault that the family is broken. So again, it's Christine's fault, according to Cody, that she couldn't do a better job of kissing Robin's ass. And now she is leaving because she could not work on the relationships with her sister wives. That has nothing to do with it. This has to do with Cody's behavior and Cody's refusal to try in his marriage with Christine. This is about Cody dismissing Christine and Christine not being his equal or not being an equal to any of the other wives or Robin, for example. Cody removed intimacy. Christine wanted it back. Cody told her, "We will see if you're a good sister wife to Robin, and then we'll discuss it." So because Christine wasn't willing to adapt her behavior, she wasn't willing to bend and treat Robin with enough deference to Cody's liking, he removed intimacy to try to force Christine to fix it with Robin and be more friendly towards her. And when Christine wouldn't be manipulated and she refused to tolerate this manipulation and a loveless, sexless marriage for the rest of her life, where Cody also hurts her kids, she left. And Cody wants to blame it on Christine being unwilling to make efforts with her sister wives, when that's not the case. and he wants to blame Christine for the bad relationships, and he wants to blame her for his broken family because she just couldn't be manipulated into doing what Cody wanted. Cody says she is like the freaking Pied Piper. She is trying to take the kids with her. Christine says that's not true. She says she could sit here and dissect everything Cody says. She could go through it point by point. But they have done this for years, and she is tired. She's tired. It doesn't matter. It's over. Christine is not the Pied Piper luring the kids away nefariously. That's gross. The kids are adults. They think for themselves. They see for themselves. They see how they are treated in comparison to Robin's kids and how much more invested Cody is with them. They see how Cody communicates and makes an effort. With them, they see how Cody stops even calling them at times, how he destroyed the family with his COVID protocols and his patriarchy bullshit, and how Cody having a favorite wife destroyed the family. They see how Cody treats their moms in comparison to how he treats Robin. They see Cody being manipulative and having this us versus them mentality and allowing himself to be manipulated by Robin, who perpetuates this lie. Robin perpetuates this us versus them mentality. They notice it and they don't like it. They don't like the damage all of this does and the hurt it causes or the lasting effects it will have. And they think for themselves as adults. Christine doesn't need to talk about it. Cody is so fucking stupid that he doesn't see that his behavior is obvious. It speaks loudly for itself. No one needs to alert the kids or influence them or whisper in their ears. That's an insult that these kids are weak-minded, that they're easily influenced, that they're vulnerable. These are intelligent kids with enough sense to come to their own conclusions. They don't sit and conspire and gossip against the king, planning a coup to oust him and instate Christine as the family matriarch, Game of Thrones, polygamy style. Cody is so paranoid, and he insults the intelligence of his kids in a big way when he suggests that Christine turns them against him. Cody needs to understand his fucked up relationships are on him alone. Christine has nothing to do with it. Blaming Christine only makes him look like the fool he is. And it makes his kids resent him more because they love their mom and they don't appreciate how their dad manipulates her and how their dad treats her. His kids probably don't appreciate Cody talking about them like they aren't intelligent enough to come to conclusions on their own about their dad. If Cody wants better relationships with his kids, he needs to act right. He needs to take accountability. He needs to own his choices and try to make amends with them in all of his bad relationships. His bad relationships with his kids and everyone else are all about Cody and his choices. He doesn't realize he is his own worst enemy. It's more convenient for him to blame Christine. He really doesn't like to think too much. Cody cynically tells Christine, thank you. Thank you for coming. It was a blessing. Thank you for leaving, because now he is trying to find the silver lining and he just hopes it's a blessing. Then he walks off, huffing and puffing like a toddler at the tail end of his tantrum. Cody says he feels like for the past 14 years, he has been sucking it up with Christine, trying to be a loving husband, and now that she is leaving, he felt like giving her a piece of his mind. With her leaving, he says, this ain't my fault, you did this. That is what he feels, and he doesn't care if it isn't fair. That's how he feels. She did this, Cody says. Cody seems to be proud of himself, like he really showed Christine. But he didn't show Christine anything during his diatribe. All he did is show he has no respect for his family, that he is completely unhinged, that there's an additional screw loose to what we thought, and that all Cody considers is himself and his goblin and their spawn. He thinks he really showed Christine. He thinks he showed everyone. He revealed Christine. He exposed her, when all he did is show that Christine has been the victim of an unhappy marriage with an unstable husband, and he seems to think Christine did this to him, when he did this to himself with his choices. He did this by year after year refusing to make an effort, refusing to treat Christine as an equal, refusing to validate Christine's feelings, and by refusing to try. Mary, Cody, and Robin seem to focus on Christine's lack of effort, that Christine didn't try. They seem to expect Christine to try. But what about Cody? He takes zero accountability. Christine tried very hard. Now he wants to wash his hands, and in his delusion, he really thinks he showed Christine. He really taught her a lesson, when all he did was confirm for Christine and his kids and the world that Christine made the right decision. She probably feels so relieved that she is leaving. Cody disregarded Christine's sacrifice for all those years. He dismisses all she did for the family. He attempts to vilify her. He paints her as inept, weak, inferior, incapable to answer a higher calling, incapable to overcome weakness to be her best. It's her fault. It's her fault she is leaving. Cody takes not one shred of responsibility in this. It's her fault, and he wants to lump in that it's her fault his family is in shambles. It's because Christine left, not because of his choices. It's never about his choices, the fearless leader. Cody says Christine takes no accountability. He takes zero. He wants to put all the blame on Christine, not just for the failed marriage, but for the bad dynamic in his family and for all of his bad relationships with his older kids. He delusionally thinks that Christine is the manipulative one. Robin and Cody are the manipulative ones, and they are making Christine the Brown family scapegoat. And Mary adds on to win their favor, validating them and attempting to vilify Christine in a minute. Cody says Christine will go around telling his kids that he didn't love her, and Cody feels like Christine needs to realize here with this that she was not loving him. Love is not accepting to be a second-class citizen within your family and within your marriage. Love is not blind obedience. Love isn't about how good you are at constantly blowing smoke up someone's ass to feed their ego. Love is not about being a yes man or a yes woman. Cody storms off like a toddler, and Janelle hugs Christine, and it's very sweet. She just hugs her, she holds her, and it was very heartwarming, and Christine just clung to Janelle, and you could tell that Janelle really understood what Christine was feeling after enduring that verbal and emotional abuse. And Robin and Mary just sat there silently, not saying one word, with bitchy looks on their faces. Janelle says she isn't trying to take sides, but she feels like Cody was harsh. She says he tried to dilute it a little, but it seemed very pointed to one relationship. Janelle says being a good sister wife takes both sides. It takes work and reciprocation on both sides and work from the husband. Cody says Janelle has a lot of sympathy for Christine during this divorce, but it's a disappointment and a sadness to Cody because Janelle has shown him no tenderness, no kindness, and no empathy while he is going through the divorce. This is so pathetic. Do you guys see how Cody fancies himself the victim and how he feels sorry for himself? He really pities himself. Christine tells Janelle that she didn't try to be a bad anything. Like, she didn't try to be mean to Robin. She didn't try to be mean to Mary. She didn't try to be a bad sister wife. And Janelle says she knows, and she thinks it's emotion. Mary looks smug as fuck, like she's enjoying Christine's pain. And she says, this is not just emotion. That response from Cody was not just emotion. That response from Cody was real. And he said some things that he probably has been holding in for a long time. And Mary is glad that Cody said it. I think Mary just resents Christine for not tolerating an unfulfilling, bad marriage the way she does. I think Mary feels if she tolerates it, Christine should too. But Mary and Christine are different people who can accept or not accept whatever suits them. And Mary is just pissed she doesn't have the same confidence in herself that Christine does to be able to leave. She resents that she is choosing to be stuck in her non-existent ghost of a marriage, while Christine refuses to be unhappy in an unfulfilling marriage for the rest of her life. And Mary also is supporting Cody, probably because she's desperate and she feels it's an opportunity to bring her closer to Cody. If Mary is supportive of Christine, it's a way for her to gain points with Cody, and she may move up in the hierarchy if she is supportive of him. That's what she thinks. Although nothing will make a difference, Cody doesn't even consider himself married to her. The whole thing is pathetic. Christine asks in confessional, if my sister wives are mad at me, why don't they talk to me? She says if her sister wives are mad at her, why don't they talk to her directly instead of Cody? Christine says that doesn't help. See, she's right. By Robin going through Cody and triangulating him in and not directly going to Christine, Robin does that intentionally to maintain the perpetual us versus them mentality and to keep Cody influenced by that, thinking that Christine is mean, that Christine rejects her, that Christine is unaccepting of her and her kids. So then Cody feels he has to protect Robin and her kids. And Robin knows Cody and Christine already have a troubled relationship and that he will resent Christine more and it will cause more problems if she goes to him to fix her relationship with Christine or complain about her. When if she went straight to Christine, it wouldn't add to his resentment towards Christine. If Robin was really all about the family and she really cared about Cody and Christine having a good relationship, she wouldn't go to Cody to complain about Christine. She would go directly to Christine to fix things. And if Christine isn't prepared to communicate with Robin and she's not in a place where she's ready to fix things, Robin just has to accept it and leave it. I don't understand why Christine is taking so much space up in Robin's head rent-free, that she feels entitled to go to her husband to talk shit and complain about Christine. Robin isn't entitled to have a close relationship with Christine. It's not a given. She isn't entitled to it. She seems to feel like she is, though. When Robin goes through Cody regarding Christine, she knows it's going to make him resent her even more. It's going to make Christine be a person that Cody hates for attacking the woman that he loves and that he favors. Because Robin always frames it as everyone being jealous of her, everyone hating her, everyone against her, everyone rejecting her. It becomes personal, and it becomes personal for Cody. Cody is already full of resentment towards Christine, and Robin continually stokes the flames, us versus them, and it not only further strains the marriage with Christine, but it makes a healthy, functional relationship between Christine and Robin impossible. And Robin knows that, yet she plays the victim like Christine is a bully and a mean girl, when she knows she is the original mean girl and she influences Cody to further resent his other wife. She isn't all about the family. She doesn't care about her sister wife, Christine, and her well-being. Robin cares about Robin. If Robin was really this amazing, sensitive empath, this communicator who helps the family communicate in a healthy, functional way, why didn't she go directly to Christine? She obviously manipulates. Robin knows well it's problematic to triangulate Cody, yet she does it anyway. She manipulates Christine. Did you see how she had to preface a question with, "This isn't a trap question"? It's because she knows she regularly manipulates Christine. So when she asked that question, she felt she had to preface it with, "This isn't a trap question." Because guess what? Robin knows she has asked trap questions before. And now Christine is very weary of Robin, especially after she called her a liar twice during this conversation, and she attempted to invalidate or illegitimize everything Christine said about her marriage to Cody and what her kids experienced as well. Robin kept getting Cody riled up about the narrative that Christine is a bully, against her, a mean girl. She kept the resentment strong between Cody and Christine. She pushed Cody to fix her relationship with Christine. She put it on Cody, and Cody felt desperate. So then he starts being manipulative, wanting to ensure he forces the issue and that he fixes it. So Robin will shut her fucking mouth because it's becoming an inconvenience for him, because at home she's probably nagging him. So then he leveraged intimacy. He said no sex until Christine fixes things with her sister wife. And Christine wanted to talk. She wanted to negotiate her marriage. She wanted to negotiate intimacy. And Cody said, well, let's see if you're a good sister wife, and then we'll talk about sex. And he knew Christine wanted a better relationship. She wanted a better marriage. She was putting in effort. She was willing to put in effort. So he thought if he removes connection and closeness with the incentive that if she is good and she pleases him in her interactions with Robin, he might bring intimacy in. He might have sex with her. That's how Cody tried to handle this. He put the last nail in the coffin of his marriage, and he ensured that Christine and Robin will never have anything beyond a civil acquaintance. They will never be friends. And if Robin wanted to be friends, first of all, we have seen how she does marry, and Christine doesn't need a friend like that. She has already dealt with Kotex for 27 years. So if Robin really wanted a better relationship with Christine as a sister wife, she knows she should go directly to her, and that Cody is inept with communication and emotions. And she did it anyways. Why? Ask yourself. And now she is crying, asking, can we be friends? Can we talk about the past? Why can't we be friends? Why are you rejecting me? When she knows being friends and making nice was never her intention. If it was, she wouldn't have put more strain on Christine's already strained marriage to Cody. Instead, Robin took the opportunity to create more resentment. Would a woman want to be friends with her sister wife when she causes more problems in her marriage? And she knows by going to Cody, she is making his resentment towards Christine deepen. She is causing more problems. Yet she did it for herself, for her selfish reasons. Christine bending the knee and kissing her ring meant more to Robin than Christine having a better chance at a better marriage with Cody. Instead, Robin riled Cody up. She made him more angry and more resentful towards Christine. She's crying about wanting to be friends, yet she sits and complains and talks shit with Cody behind Christine's back. Do we honestly believe that Robin thought going to Cody with her complaints would facilitate a better relationship, an authentic, better relationship with Christine? Seriously? In what world would Christine trust Robin? In what world would Christine want to be friends with a woman like Robin? Her ex-husband's other wife who talks shit about her with her ex-husband. Now Robin wants to cry because Christine said she wants space. Christine is the Brown family scapegoat. Robin doesn't get to cry because Christine doesn't want to play at recess. Why does Robin shove herself aggressively down everyone's throats? Please play with me, love me, love me. Her daughter Ari already is a lot like her. She was so aggressive with her friendship with the other kid in school who just wanted to be left alone. Like mother, like daughter. Mary says she knows that in their family, every one of them has had a conversation with another one of them about another one of them. It has happened with all of the adults, everybody. Robin says she learned very early on in her relationship with Cody that venting her frustrations about a sister wife didn't work. It made him angry and upset, and she realized she was talking about somebody Cody loved. Cody says for 2 years now, Christine was constantly complaining about her sister wives and why she didn't want to live with them in one house. And it hasn't been the other wives tattling or backstabbing her or anything like that. It's been her telling him how she felt about them. Robin says, again, she is desperate. This woman is crazy. That she wants to double check with Christine. She says it sounds like Christine will continue to have good relationships with the people she is close with, and those she isn't close with, Robin wants to know if Christine wants it to stay distant. She already asked that earlier. See how she is aggressively shoving her friendship in Christine's face to try to make Christine look like she is rejecting her? Just like Ariella did to the poor classmate at school she was bugging, who she pestered so badly that the other girl had to run away from her. Christine shakes her head yes, and she says, for right now. She needs things to stay as they are. At this point, Robin awkwardly leaves and she says snarkily that she's sorry to see Christine go. Mary says nothing and follows Robin out. Robin says through the years, as she has had issues with Christine, she has tried very hard to talk to her, to approach her, to text her, to call her. She was probably overbearing and annoying as fuck, like single white female. So she's tried to approach her, to text her, to call her. And Robin says she was met with walls and rejection and just Christine not wanting to discuss things through. Christine says she feels like there have been some things said against her behind her back. And she asks, do I want to be friends with someone who complains about me behind my back? She says, not right now. Mary and Robin hug as Robin sobs. She is wailing like a child, squealing in her tears. Christine says, this is one of the saddest conversations she has ever been in, and she doesn't regret leaving at all, though. She still stands firm that leaving is 100% the right thing to do, and moving and getting away is definitely the right thing to do. But she is sorry that she is leaving a mess behind. If anything, this conversation reassured Christine that she is definitely doing the right thing. It was a confirmation for her for sure. Robin and Mary are hugging by the cars. Robin is sobbing like a little kid. She's making weird noises. She's sobbing. She's having difficulty catching her breath. I think it's ridiculous. She's a 40-year-old woman, or older than that probably, and she is crying hysterically because Christine doesn't want to be friends right now and she isn't getting what she wanted, the picture in her head. Robin probably feels guilty because she knows the favoritism Cody shows her and her kids, and she knows that's a big reason why Christine is leaving, and that she is leaving because her kids are hurt, that Robin's kids matter more than her kids do to their father. And Robin probably feels the guilt, and she probably feels ashamed. But if a 40-year-old is crying like that, it shows they really don't have good control of their emotions, and they don't have good stability either. If anyone in this situation should be in tears after the abuse and the bullying she just endured, it should be Christine. And Christine is so graceful and diplomatic. She kept her composure. She didn't shed a tear. The only two acting like jagaloons are Robin and Cody, who are incapable of controlling their emotions. Cody says a week ago, Christine announced that she was moving and her house was sold. He says it became the ultimate awareness for him that he finally had to admit that Christine is leaving, and he had a meltdown. So Cody says he is trying to put this to the side to go on with his relationships the best he can. Janelle says after that conversation, they all retreated back to their own little holes since the talk with Christine, and she hasn't seen anybody and she doesn't know what anyone else is planning, but she has to move forward on the property. She doesn't know if it means that she will live there alone, but she says all her eggs are in this basket and she is moving forward. Janelle talked to APS, the provider for electricity, and they can't get electricity for an empty lot. Janelle says it's intimidating to think about staying over the winter. She thinks it might work without electricity. She is willing to try because she believes so much in bringing this house to fruition. Cody asks if they could get electric with a building permit, and that's down the road. But in October, Janelle has to move the trailer. She has 2 more months before the permit runs out. Where they live, they can only stay on their property for 4 months in a trailer. So Janelle planned to move to Lot 3, which was supposed to be Christine's lot for the winter. Janelle's heat works, the generator works, her heat is propane, so she has these huge big propane tanks, so she needs a battery to charge up during the day to run the heater at night. Janelle wants to try it, and Robin says it's a really big difference in Flagstaff living in town versus living on the property. She says the winters are harsher, it's colder, there is more snow. It's a really hard winter, and Robin can't imagine doing it in a fifth wheel. Janelle says Savannah is settled in and she's okay. Janelle's ultimate goal with building is to have a house built by the time Savannah goes to her senior year a year from now. Janelle says she is up against huge odds to make this happen, but the plans are being drawn, she can visualize it, and she wants this to happen. She says she could be done by next school year if everything stays on track. With building, it never stays on track, but hopefully, fingers crossed. Cody just sighs at this. He is very displeased. And Cody says in confessional that there are so many moving parts to this, and Janelle keeps trying to move forward without coming back to the one main thing. They have to pay off the property, and they don't have the means to pay off the property. Therefore, they cannot organize the lots the way they need to. He says Christine is moving to Utah. They are done. Christine is done with them. She's out. She's leaving. So she is handing her value in Coyote Pass to him as exchange for his equity in her house. She is selling, but they can't pay off Coyote Pass by selling off a lot because they need to pay it off so they can reconfigure it so they can get more value out of it. Janelle says maybe it's a horrible thing and she gives up, but part of her is determined to make this work. Cody just sighs and says, okay, defeatedly. Janelle says Cody has never really been engaged in their housing since they have been in Flagstaff. She says he was mad when she moved from her first rental to the second rental, even though the second rental was much bigger. He was mad because it wasn't as nice. But Janelle says, you know, what he has, a house that he lives in up on the hill with Robin, it's really nice. And she has nothing. So she is trying hard to build herself something here in Flagstaff. In confessional, Cody says, the original plan from the very beginning was that they would build on Coyote Pass, but they ran into some real problems when they moved to Flagstaff, so they bought a house for Christine, and eventually they had to buy a house for Robin. Cody knows that this is bothering Janelle, but he has been invested in this from the very beginning. The problem is they do discuss it. They do discuss Janelle's housing, and he does get involved with her house, but she doesn't like him being involved because he disagrees with her. So instead of coming to a meeting of the minds, Janelle just does what she wants. Cody is never there. Why does Janelle need to compromise for him? He lives monogamously in his mansion with Robin, and Robin gets 50% of everything Cody's name is on as legal wife if she chooses to leave him. Janelle has nothing. She owns nothing alone in her name. She has nothing if she were to leave to give her kids. Cody expects Janelle to compromise with him to find a place he will barely even stand in and to choose a home to his liking over hers when it's basically her house. He will barely even be there. When does Cody have a meeting of the minds with his wives? When does he compromise or bend for them? When does he bend? Look at COVID. He refused. He doesn't bend. He expects Janelle's will to run into his. Remember what he said. It's a patriarchy. Remember, he expects Janelle to bend. He never feels he should bend for his wives. So why should Janelle involve Cody if she will just be controlled and dictated to? She knows there is no compromise. And if there is, it's one-sided. It's her bending to him on a decision on a house that will be hers that Cody will barely even be in. Why should there be a meeting of the minds? It's not really his house. When is he there? When was he there during COVID at Janelle's? When did he sleep there? Janelle knows it's her home. She will pick it. Cody's home is with Robin, and he said that. Her home was the only home that felt like his. Janelle's home isn't his home. It's Janelle's. It's her kid's home. Why should she compromise where she lives for an absent husband, a ghost? Janelle says she knows Cody thinks they should have just bought, but Janelle knows this is the right thing to do. Cody says it's not even buying, just renting. And Janelle says if she were to rent in town, it would just be out of sight, out of mind again. She wanted to move out here to keep herself moving along, moving forward. Janelle says she got herself in a very stupid position as an independent woman because if she was to leave right now, if she wanted to, she would have no estate and nothing to leave to her kids. Her hands are completely tied because everything she has, asset-wise, has everybody else's name on it too. Robin says they are all owners of the property. Their names are all on different pieces of the property, so they all technically do have an asset. An asset that is still not paid off, that no one can do a thing with. And Cody is using having to rezone it before they can build to signal to Janelle, we can't just pay it off. There is no money. We can't pull this off. He has no intention to pay it off. He just wants to keep putting up barriers and making excuses to delay. And Janelle wants to build because if she wants to leave Cody, she wants to know she has something in just her name that she owns individually that she can give her kids. I think she does want to leave Cody, maybe once Savannah graduates, and she wants to know she has property that is paid off and built on that she owns for her kids, that no one else has a claim to. This is all about her kids and Janelle trying to secure her kids. I don't think she is staying with Cody, and apparently from the rumor mill, she has already left. It's really interesting how Robin came into the family with the price of a luxury car in debt. She is now not only debt-free, but as legal wife, if she were to divorce Cody, she gets half of everything that Cody's name is on, half of his assets, and she would leave with half of everything. That's $1 million home she lives in, plus Coyote Pass. So she has more than enough to leave should she want to. And as legal wife, she has laws in place that would protect her and get her half of everything. She has more than enough to leave. Her kids would have security and stability. She came in debt. The family helped pay for her and provide for her and her kids. The family took care of her debt. She would have an estate to leave her kids. If she were to leave with half of everything Cody owns, with the other wives, plus half of her home value, plus half the land value of all Cody's name is on, she knows no matter what, her kids have a home, they have an estate, she has assets to leave them, her debt's paid off. Janelle was in this family for over 27 years. She was the primary breadwinner. She sacrificed her paycheck, and she has nothing in her name alone that she owns to show for it. She isn't a legal wife, so if she were to leave, she has no leg to stand on, and everything her name is attached to involves other wives. Plus, we learn half of her home proceeds from Vegas went to Robin buying her mansion. So Robin, as legal wife, gets half that home. Janelle is in a position where if they don't pay off Coyote Pass and she doesn't get to build, she will have nothing solely in her name as an asset to give her kids. And she has no legal rights to anything of Cody's. She isn't a legal wife. She probably wouldn't even be able to take her share of the joint account of the family money that she probably contributed the majority to. See how shisty Cody was with Christine, how miserly he is when it comes to his coins. He didn't give Christine what she deserved financially after 27 years. And he won't care to give Janelle what she deserves either if she decided to leave after she worked to provide for the family for all of those years. And the only one with security and a home and an estate is Robin. And she came in with debt. She got it paid off with the help of the family. She didn't work or lift a finger like the other wives did, other than filming. And her failed My Sister Wives closet put the family in the red. Remember when Cody took out a $100,000 loan to support that dream of hers? Look how dedicated Janelle is. She is willing to suffer in an RV in the middle of winter just to push Cody to pay off the land and rezone it so she can build, so she can leave knowing there is an asset that is hers alone that she can leave to her kids. Robin says her home has her name on it, and it has Cody's name on it too. Mary says through the years they've had multiple people on the homes because in the past they really have just worked together as a family. It really didn't matter. They all just had each other's backs. They are all in this together, Mary says. Janelle reveals that honestly she gave half of the proceeds of her house in Vegas to Robin to get Robin in her mansion. And they also have a family account, a joint family account, and they took a lot of money from that account so Robin could have the mansion. They have a family account, and Janelle says the same amount of money is in that account as when they bought Robin's house. And it was okay to deplete the account at that point then to pay for Robin's house. And they also did it for Christine. And Janelle asks why it can't be her turn. Cody says it wasn't a matter of finding the money for Christine's house or finding the money for Robin's house. It was a matter of having the money now, and they don't have the money. It's not true that they don't have the money. Janelle just said that the same amount is in the family account as there was before they depleted it for Robin. And they did it for Robin and for Christine in order to buy homes. But Cody refuses to do it for Janelle. And he says they don't have the money. But again, the same amount of money was in the account when he depleted it for Robin. And he didn't complain about not having money then. So why can't Cody pull from the family account to pay off the land or get Janelle a home if that isn't possible? She probably contributed the majority of what's in there to that account. Realistically, Janelle was always the primary breadwinner. So most of the money in that joint family account probably came from Janelle and Cody, and maybe a little from the other wives from filming. So the fact that Janelle gave half the money from her Vegas house to Robin to have the mansion, and she also got a big chunk of the family's joint account, that was money Janelle contributed. And Cody should have no problem pulling from that family account for Janelle, especially when he also used it for Christine. Why is it okay for Robin and Christine to use the family account money to buy a home, but not Janelle, especially when she is most likely a primary contributor to that joint account? And considering all she gave to Robin, she basically paid for the majority of Robin's mansion. That's a lot of money that went to Robin directly from Janelle. So Robin could have her dream mansion. So why can't Cody spend so Janelle can build, so she has stability and security and an asset to leave her kids should she decide to leave Cody? Also, I wonder how much of the joint family account did Cody offer Christine? Did she get any extra from there as the mother of his kids who has to still raise Truly? Or did she just get the proceeds from her house? I don't think she got a cent from the family account, and she probably deserved 1/5 of it at least. I didn't ever hear it mentioned, but he seemed very eager to offer her the food storage. It's interesting. It's not only a disparity in Cody's attention, investment, and presence between Robin and the other wives, but also financially, there is a situation where everyone is expected to give Robin more than equal. She gets more than equal financially, and she gets favored, and she gets use of the joint account and half of Janelle's proceeds from Vegas. Why aren't Cody and Robin stepping in to help Janelle pay off this land now in reciprocation? Janelle says she is going to keep moving forward because she has to think that whatever she is doing will blaze the trail for the other pieces. Cody just says, yeah. In confessional, he says he is in this weird place with his wives. He has had this huge struggle with Christine, so he has just become agreeable, saying yeah, when he knows there is a disconnect, and in order for Janelle to start building on this land, they have to pay it off. Cody says he needed a place where he could actually nurture a relationship with Janelle and Savannah, and he says it's too late, they already have the RV. Cody tells Janelle that he's going to look into getting propane. Cody says it's exhausting their emotional resources. Cody can nurture a relationship with Janelle and Savannah in an RV. He could nurture a relationship with them if they were homeless or living in a car. That doesn't matter. Cody is using the RV as an excuse as to why he is prevented from connecting and improving his relationships with Savannah and Janelle. And he wants to blame the RV as a reason why. The RV apparently impedes him from connecting with them. You know, refugee fathers bond and maintain their relationships with their kids, and they have no home. They have nothing. They themselves suffer, and they still bond with their kids, and they still nurture those relationships, even with no country and no home. So Cody saying the RV prevents him from having a place to nurture his relationship with Janelle and Savannah is bullshit. He can be a good father and husband in the RV or homeless or at the Four Seasons, Cody is just looking for an excuse. He's looking for excuse after excuse as to why he isn't present. At the old rental, it was Gabe and Garrison, and it was COVID, and Gabe's girlfriend and Garrison's friends. He doesn't care. He has excuse after excuse. Soon he will say the air just doesn't feel right there. It's not conducive to him being there. He will come up with anything to excuse his absence and his failure to be a decent husband and father. And now he wants to blame Janelle for getting an RV. This man is so weak and pathetic. Why the fuck can't he suck it up? This is his wife and child. I didn't know standing in an RV interfered with a man's ability to love his wife or connect with his daughter. That's such bullshit, just like when he blamed Gabe and Garrison as to why he couldn't be there at the rental. That was bullshit too. Cody doesn't want to be there, so he isn't there. Janelle isn't at fault for this. Cody is choosing to be absent. Janelle says she isn't asking Cody to do anything. She isn't asking anyone else to build on Coyote Pass. Janelle says nobody else has to make any decisions. She isn't asking Cody for any money except for the money that the family has pledged to pay off this property when they first bought it. That's all. Janelle is asking for Cody to honor that commitment and for everybody to prioritize that. And then after that, she doesn't care. Janelle is just trying to build something for herself here. Robin says things are really, really difficult now with the family, but she and Cody still have little kids that are going back to school in person for the first time, and she wants the kids to feel special and excited about their day. It's the kids' first day, and it's Ari's first day of kindergarten. Saul was online all year last year for third grade, so it's his first day back in person too. Cody greets Robin, Saul, and Ari as they come home. The kids had fun. They made friends. Cody enthusiastically greets Saul and Ari. It's very obvious that he's very involved with them. He asks about their day. They got a report from Ariella's teacher that there was a girl who was there who was shy and sad, and Ari was very helpful. She tried to hold this girl's hand and help this other person. Cody says Ari is very gregarious and she is brave, and he is very proud of her. And his whole demeanor when he speaks with Ari and Saul is completely different than it is with any of his other wives and kids. He is very loving and attentive with them. He is very invested. He is very present. And you can tell he is beaming with pride when he speaks about how proud he is of Ariella. He should be proud of all of his kids. I don't see him react this way with Truly. He still hasn't made her a bedroom. Cody should be proud of all of his kids, especially Gabe and Garrison and Isabel and Truly. I don't see him putting any effort in there. Ari and Cody sit on the stoop and they talk about Ari's day. And Ariella reveals she had a good day. Her friend was sad because she wouldn't leave her alone. Ari was trying to be next to this girl so she wasn't lonely, but she was too much of a pest. She was bugging her. And when Cody asks if Ariella was too much of a pest, Robin warns Cody to be nice and to not use that word. So apparently it's okay for Robin to call Isabel stupid for her choice to attend in-person school, but it's not okay for Cody to call Ariella a pest. That's not nice. Anyways, this girl kept running away from Ari, trying to dodge her. Like mother, like daughter. Did you guys see how Robin selfishly and aggressively shoved her friendship in Christine's face at the most inappropriate moment? And Christine had to tell her she needed space. It's the same with Ari and this poor kid she latched onto. Saul and Ari are in confessional, and Saul asks his sister why her friend was running away from her. Ari says her friend was a tiny bit mad because she was engaged to someone and she had a man, but he cut her off. Ari says breaking up, yeah, that's really not appropriate for a kid her age to even think of or know about. It's not appropriate for kids to be play acting at that age. That's her first day of kindergarten. And it makes me wonder if Cody and Robin are indiscreet when they talk at home about Cody's relationship with Christine or his other wives. And if maybe Ari picks up on it and then she parrots it and then she models what she hears the adults talk about in her home. It sounds to me like Ari has heard her mom and Cody discuss Christine. This is her first day of kindergarten. Why is she joking about her being engaged and the other friend having a man who broke up with her and now she became mad at her? I don't remember talking like that in kindergarten. So Ari must hear stuff all the time that is meant for adult ears. I thought it was very bizarre, and it was also bizarre how aggressive she was with her friendship and how she latched on to this poor kid. Initially, she tried to comfort her, and then she was so aggressive with her friendship that this poor classmate of hers had to run away from her just to get space, just to get room to breathe. Robin asked Ari if she was nervous when she dropped her off, and she asked if the teacher took her to her class. Why ask a kid, were you nervous, or were you something negative, or were you anxious? Why not ask them positive questions? Like, did you have fun? What did you do? What did you learn? Why plant in your child's head, oh, you must have been nervous? If Ari was scared or nervous, she would probably express that. Why encourage anxiety or prompt it? Ari almost ran back to her mom. She wavered between being with her mommy and her first day of school. Saul tells Ari she is shy, and she giggles and she feigns being offended very animatedly. And Saul asks her why she is offended, and he says it's true. Cody tells Ari that her mom was sad when she dropped her off. Why tell a kid when you go to school it makes mommy sad? That's only going to make them have anxiety and have emotions about it. Robin says it was the hardest drop-off she has ever done. She got in the car with Cody and it was scary and it was hard. And Robin doesn't like this. Cody thought that was weird and he was getting emotional too because it was his last kindergartner. So they sat in the moment going, whoa, this is difficult to do. Janelle says Cody was a good dad when the kids were little. She remembers them all walking in a line to brush their teeth. Janelle thought Cody was stellar. He did such an amazing job relating to his kids. Mary says when each of Cody's kids were born, they all just brought him so much joy. He loved hanging out with them. He was always a really, really good dad. Christine says one of the most important parts of her leaving Cody was to keep the good memories he has with the kids present. She thinks it's important. She mentions that he used to wrestle with the older kids all the time, and she thinks it's important to remember all of the good memories that the kids have with their dad. She says you don't want your kids to just remember the negative times. That doesn't serve anybody. Cody lovingly checks Ariella's lunchbox, and he praises her for eating everything but the apple. Cody says Ariella is his 18th child, and there is this sense of this being the last for him and for Robin. So they both want to cherish this, and every day Cody wants to engage Ariella and find out what her day is like. He says it's a poignant thought and sobering as well to think this is your last child out of so many. Cody makes sure all of Robin's kids had a great day at school. Brianna is graduating this year. And with that, the episode ends. Why isn't Cody equally invested and attentive with all of his kids? It seems to me like he's only invested and attentive and communicative with Robin's kids. If he spent as much time connecting and investing with all of his kids, even when the relationships were hard, he would have better relationships with all of his kids. Next time on Sister Wives, Mykelti and Tony have come to help Christine move. And Mykelti says it's exciting that they will live just 20 minutes away from each other in Utah. Mykelti wants her mom to have everybody say goodbye to her. She asks Christine if she is doing a family goodbye or if they're going to go drop toilets on anyone's lawn. She wants the plan. And Christine says they aren't doing anything like that. Mykelti says yes, Christine is divorcing her dad. But she isn't saying, okay, peace out, I'm done with every single one of you. Janelle and the kids and Robin and Cody and the kids come to say goodbye. Cody is bitchy, saying he's leaving in 5 minutes. He says he feels like his life is being unraveled for him. Christine thanks everyone for coming. It means a lot to her. She and Janelle hug and sob, and Christine says she thinks this was the worst goodbye that she has ever witnessed. What's sad is that McKelty had to probably get everyone over there to say goodbye to her mom and give her that respect and gratitude. I'm sure Janelle would be there regardless, but Cody was acting pissy. Christine gave Cody 27 years, and he is complaining that he has to go in 5 minutes. Can he at least say goodbye to his daughter with some dignity and respect? He is the reason things didn't work out in his marriage. He married a woman he wasn't attracted to, that he did not love, who was head over heels for him. And he married her because of her status in the church. He had 6 kids with her, and he treated her like she wasn't his equal, like she didn't matter to him as much as Robin. And he pinned every bad relationship he has on Christine, especially with his older kids. And he pinned the failure of his marriage on her, complaining that she took no accountability when he took not one shred of accountability. In fact, after blaming Christine for everything wrong in his family, he then said it's her fault that she did this to him, as if he is her victim and she has wronged him. And the whole thing is sick. Cody did not give this woman the compassion, respect, and dignity she deserves as the mother of his kids and as a human being who has done a lot for him, who has stood by his side for 27 years. She nurtured all of his kids, and all he did was reduce it to thanking her for helping him fix the mess he was in with Janelle and Mary, as if her purpose is to be there as an object to serve him. That's what he remembers out of the whole 27 years. The time she served his interests and worked to his selfish advantage to eradicate the trouble between Mary and Janelle and make it more convenient for him. He married Christine to use, knowing she loved him, knowing she was naive, knowing he was making a mistake, and he had 6 kids with her, and then he has the nerve to say he sacrificed everything to love her when he sacrificed nothing, and she sacrificed every part of herself for this family as the heart of this Brown family. And all Cody and Robin did was make her the Brown family scapegoat, pinning every bad relationship on Christine. Cody was more emotionally distraught over what he perceives to be the rejection of Robin and her kids than he was for his own kids or the other kids in the family or Christine because of her leaving. And he is more concerned with his rejection and Robin and her kids' rejection with Christine leaving than what all of his kids are thinking and feeling with this divorce. His only thought was for himself and Robin, as always. This episode, we learned that Janelle gave half of the proceeds of her Vegas home to Robin to have that mansion. And also, it took a considerable amount of the family's joint account to get her Goblin's lair. As Janelle, the woman who probably contributed most to the joint family account, who sacrificed half of her proceeds from her Vegas house for Robin, is now not being permitted by Cody to use money from the joint account to get her a place or pay off the land, when he knows all Janelle sacrificed year after year as the primary breadwinner for this family. It's not just Cody's favor, attention, and investment and time that Robin gets. It's a lion's share of the finances too. She gets to sit on her ass in her mansion with her nanny, only filming as a job as everyone else films and also works. She came into this family in debt. If she wanted to divorce Cody as legal wife, she not only gets half of the value of the home in both her and Cody's names, but half of everything Cody's name is on with the other wives. Her name is also on the majority of the parcels at Coyote Pass. As Janelle, who built this family, who worked hard, who was the primary breadwinner, has nothing alone that she owns alone to her name to leave her kids if she wanted to leave. She isn't a legal wife, so she has to get this land paid off and built so she can have something to leave her kids. She worked to build this family. Blood, sweat, agony, and tears she put into this family for years. As Robin sits on her behind, living in a mansion that Janelle primarily paid for and contributed a lot to. And now she not only has debt, she is in the plus. If she were to leave, she would leave with at least $1 million if we consider the value of half of her $1 million home plus the land and anything else her name might be on. If Robin were to leave, she would get more money than any wife who contributed much more than her. Why is that? How is that fair? How is it that Cody doesn't see fit to help Janelle from the joint family account? The money is there. Janelle reveals the same amount is there as there was when Robin took from it and when Christine took from it for their homes. So why does the favorite wife get extra financial perks too when Janelle was the primary breadwinner for years? Why can't Cody be fair and do this for Janelle now after all Janelle has sacrificed? That does it for this episode of Sister Wives. To my YouTube viewers, please like and subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comments section if you like. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys soon for the next episode of Sister Wives. Bye.